Hello, guys. Hello, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Hopefully, you're doing fine with me today. Hi, Uniconto and Ben. Hi, you're the first one once appeared, yeah? That's awesome. How are you today? I'm doing good. Los Clan, hi. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing very, very well today. I'm doing more than okay. Not him. What are you saying, not him? What are you saying? What are you saying? I wish you health. Thank you, Sefedrasi. Same for you. Be wealthy, healthy, and rich. Yeah? That's what usually people wishing. Hi, everyone. So today is the day. Today there is the meeting. Meeting between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, it seems like. Trying to find more information about it. But of course, like Fox News would tell that it's the best of the best of the best meetings. Yeah. Let's check their propaganda, what are they saying. I need to know the address of like what they wanna do, what they wanna be. Yeah, we have double comments or what? Or a single comment? I think single comments. Yeah. Greetings from my head. Hi. Denys, please update about ongoing bombing taking place right now in Ukraine. It's terrible. Raphael. Yeah, we're gonna speak about that too. Yeah, Ukraine, if you want, I can show you some of the pics from Ukraine. This is Zhytomyr Oblast, some of the oil reservoir on fire after the Russian strikes. So the strikes are happening, they're quite massive for the last couple of days. And this night, this evening, they're gonna intensify those. So, yeah, unfortunately we have this happening. This is happening. I want to go step by step. First, like update on Donny, then update maybe on Iran touching this topic, and maybe in the last we're gonna speak about Ukraine. I think so. That was the plan, at least. Oh, then it's good to hear you, Stalkering Geroim Slav. I don't know why YouTube Twitch somehow not allow this comment, so I had to manually allow it. Love your video today is you should harsher on Reform UK. Come on, it's like I cannot influence what people will vote for, but it seems like they won the local elections, you know, in those not parliamentary elections, but it's like the wave. And it seems like Nigel Farage has the quite high chances to be victorious. He has quite high chances to be a prime minister, even. I would say even like that. It's not a good scenario for us, of course, but potentially it could be like that. Yeah, sadly. But what can we do? Yeah. Those populists, they're always popular, especially right now. Not always, I mean, but right now they're popular. Now there is the change in the moods in Europe, elsewhere, yeah. Booba Smith, hi, I'm so disappointed. Well, yeah. Those people who support Nigel Farage, they are not disappointed. This is a shame, yeah. For me, I also don't like him, of course, because many people from his circle, they're affiliated with Russia, and yeah. I'm going to vote conservative. I think Nigel is too close to Donny. Okay. Laborists, it seems like they lost completely. Even in Welsh. In Welsh, where they are like they were the most popular there, Nigel Farage took majority in them. Yeah, in local elections. This is not good, but anyways. And Nigel, yes, he's copy-pasting rhetorics from Donald Trump, from MAGA, like make Britain great again, and basically populists. Well, yeah. I don't think that they will like block the military support for Ukraine, even with Reform UK. I don't think so. But it's gonna be more difficult. Yeah. Politics is disappointing. Yeah, still there is the right-wing wave on Europe, I say. People vote for populists, except Hungary, maybe. Well, Ukraine also launched the strikes on Russia. You can see it here. Yeah, some of the strikes. Occupied territories of Zaporizhia, Crimea, and drones are flying to Leningrad Oblast. Moscow, and Tver. So northern attack today. We'll see. Well, in Moscow, Russia has an advanced air defense. They have lots of the units there. It's the priority number one, even more than protecting anything else like refineries, oil ports. Russia would rather protect Moscow. So, yeah, Ukraine is using this advantage because Russia at the same time takes air defense from very important territories. So, yeah, it's good for this policy of protecting Putin, first of all, of Russia, is playing the good favor for hitting Russian infrastructure in general. I'm too honest to be politician. Yeah, me too, and again. That's why I'll never, never go to politics. Well, anyways, I want to listen to what Fox News propaganda says about the visit. They published like 46 minutes ago, the video about the visit. Let's listen to it. Thanks for following, Vakinot. So he was not met. I thought that Xi Jinping personally could meet Donald Trump, like it was then Donald Trump met with Putin. But Xi Jinping sent some of the people, yeah, well, it was a great meeting, but without Xi Jinping. I wonder if Xi Jinping was flying to the United States of America, if Donald Trump would have met him, or would meet him. It's better to say according to grammar of English. I wonder. Also, there is Trump's son here in the background. Trump's son, some of the officials, yeah. This is the first visit for the last 7 years. Yeah, the last year Donald Trump met with Xi Jinping, but it was the part of the general meeting. Some general stuff. Steve, it's less radical. Xi snubbed Donny. Yeah. So there was no personal meeting. So for Donny, meeting with Putin was more important than for Xi to meet Donald Trump. Yeah. Did Xi greet Putin the last time they met? It's interesting. Kim Jong-un, I know he was like greeting, saying farewell. Xi met Putin airplane. I know Google doesn't give this information. I will go to Claude. Did Xi met Putin at the airplane? Then Putin went to China the last time during their meeting. Okay, so Claudia is searching. Yes, Putin's last in-person visit to China was in early September 2025, so roughly a little bit more than a half a year ago. Then Xi held formal talks with him during Shanghai Cooperation Organization. They also met informally over tea. No, I mean, did he met him at the airport, right in front of the airplane? Like Donald Trump met Putin in Alaska. Claudia is stupid. No, Xi did not personally greet Putin at the airport in front of the airplane. Putin arrival in Tianjin for General Summit. All right, what about not the summit, but personal meeting? Last personal meeting, not the format of the summit. Claudia, the model doesn't recognize normally. According to Chinese protocol, sends low-ranking officials to the airport. The formal welcome ceremony happened later outside. So it's according to China protocol. But I wonder what they were speaking about.
And so it begins here in Beijing, China rolling out the red carpet for President Trump. We watched it here 1 hour ago. Big grand welcome kicking off a 2-day summit with serious issues and implications on the line. So good morning, good evening from China. I'm Bill Hemmer back here live in Beijing. And Sandra, nice to see you again. We'll find out what we get along the way. How you doing and good morning back
We
there?
will indeed. It is 9 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast. And Bill, good to see you out there. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Dana is off today. This is America's Newsroom. So it started, Bill, with all that pomp and circumstance. We watched it together. But they will soon be getting down to brass tacks. There's so much hanging in the balance at this U.S.-China summit. The world's two biggest economies have a lot to discuss on trade, on technology. And then there is, of course, the issue of Iran.
Yeah, the economy. I remember how China overtook Japan as the second world economy. It happened not that long time ago, I would say. And about the war in Iran, we now have the information. I think it was published by the New York Times that China is already agreed to supply spare parts for Iranian missiles, for Iranian drones, and Iranian military in general. They will do it via the third countries to hide it. So there was some sort of the investigation done by American authorities, and Donald Trump knows about it. Donnie knows. Yeah. Donnie is more yellow than Xi Jinping. Or he is orange. He's not yellow, he's orange. And those are the standard colors of Fox News, by the way. Trump is going to kiss ass. I'm just sure. I want to hear the narrative coming from MAGA propaganda from Fox News. What do they say? Hey, Anthony Ho. I guess he will have to sell Siberia to China now. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see where the ball moves on that, if at all. China's the largest buyer of Iranian oil, and right now a fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran hangs in the backdrop.
Also, I want to comment here that United States, they started the war against Iran together with Israel. They then lifted the sanctions on Iran together with Russia, by the way. And then they like to release oil, Iranian oil to the market to drop the general fuel prices and oil prices. And then they blocked the Strait of Hormuz, and now they say that because it was not working, like the strategy was not working properly, then they decided to block the Strait of Hormuz together with Iran, like the second defense line. And they now complain that China is buying oil. So at first, you need to have the plan. Like, why did you lift the sanctions then? And later complain about someone's buying Iranian oil. You lifted the sanctions yourself for someone to purchase that oil, right? Because what's the reason? Now they complain. Okay.
According to the president, before he left Washington, that is not, however, that is not the focus of this trip.
I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think it's going to remain that way. We have a lot of things to discuss. I wouldn't say Iran is one of them, to be honest with you, because we have Iran very much under control. We're either going to...
Oh, yeah, Iran under control. Well, guys, honestly saying, I think Iran, well, it needs, like, for its regime, maybe nuclear weapons, and Qatari officials, they're saying that because of the Budapest memorandum that Ukraine was, like, betrayed by its own powerful allies, who guaranteed security in case of giving up nuclear weapons. So the only guarantee which exists is nuclear weapons. Many of them is better. So in one or other way, not just Iran, but multiple of the countries would search for obtaining nuclear weapons, especially those who are in these confrontation areas, like, for example, Middle East. Saudi Arabia will be looking for that as well, I'm sure about it. Maybe even Qatar, we'll see. So Qatar is saying, their officials, that in few years, they didn't specify particular number, like there will be nuclear weapons in Iran and you cannot like do anything with that. And I think it's like a defeat already of this coalition forces of Israel and the United States of America in Iran. It's impossible to win. The only way is to deploy massively forces, announce the draft in the United States, and I don't think that Donald Trump will do it. It will be like his farewell. So they fucked up, and they will lose in this war. United States will lose in this war without being crushed, like Iranian Navy crushed, Iranian military aviation crushed, but Iran has something even more powerful than nuclear weapons, and they control 20% of the world's economy, world's energy. So the world's economy, everything is energized by the energy and economy as well. So applying those blockades and control, like this is the, I think it's called Tsutswang situation in chess. And every other move will deteriorates the situation for the player. So here is Tsutswang for Donald Trump, and he doesn't know what to do. Well, maybe he will have some of the ideas after flying to China. And China knows that. China understands how crappy now the situation for Donny is, and for the United States, unfortunately, together with Donny. How the United States is losing its influence, and China before even told to its companies, if you have some of the American applied sanctions, you may proceed. So they do not see sanctions or secondary sanctions as something really outstanding. So we'll see. But the situation for United States in the war in Iran it's catastrophic, close to catastrophic. Yeah, not for the army again, but for general geopolitics. Yeah, and the only way of how to really dismantle Iran, not just blah 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 on through social, not just blah 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 to reporters, but to deploy massive amount of the troops, like it was done in Afghanistan, in Iraq, kaput regime from inside by doing this military action with thousands of losses and civilians, hundreds of thousands of losses. So this is a mess, and I don't think that Trump will do it. If he does it, he is crazy. Like, absolutely.
No, one way or the other, we win. But we're going to be talking with President Xi about a lot of different things. I would say more than anything else will be trade.
Wilder.
Okay, so they will concentrate mostly on the trade, and yeah, there was the information that they will speak about lowering some of the tariffs and opening the trade window for $30 billion. Okay, 30 billion. Mechaneto, who is quality than some export that cost my country €8, but AliExpress under €1. Why should I not order it from China? It's like we just can't stop ordering from China. Well, China's products are everywhere. Actually, most of the equipment that I use here, even some premium equipment, is made in China. Yeah. So you cannot bypass Chinese products. They're everywhere, elsewhere, in every point of the world, in the United States and Europe. But yeah, this is the situation. It's the world production center, and the West did it to China. Because of the West, Chinese economy exploded. The United States got rid of conscription because of Vietnam. If we bring it back, he is so fucked. There is the military draft, like according to legislation, it's not like completely cancelled. There is the military draft regulations if needed. And I am watching this Valhalla FAT. The guy, he's a Green Beret, ex-Green Beret. He was fighting in Afghanistan, also in some of the other places. And he says that the United States were very close to announce military draft during all of this anti-terrorist operation in those countries. Very, very close. It was barely enough people, volunteers, and regular army to conduct those operations. He said it was almost done. Almost, he said. Well, okay. We'll see.
Okay, now Aisha Hasni reporting with me here live in Beijing, and hello to you.
Hello to you.
Go ahead and
good evening. Good morning. We don't know still. Hey, the president has previewed what he's going to talk to Xi about first, and that is trade. He said that he's going to ask Xi to open up China to business with these business executives that he's bringing along with him in this big delegation. We just saw the arrival. Let's put that up on the screen there. He was greeted by the vice president of China and 300 Chinese kids, Bill, waving the China and U.S. flags. He said,
I wonder how Chinese J.D. Vance looks like Chinese vice president. Oh, here he go. Like, the video quality is terrible that they show. Maybe it's from the online, and this online is not working well, this transmission of the data.
Trade is a top priority for the state visit, not Iran. Although Iran will come up, he plans to have a long talk with Xi about it. But he says that he does not need China's help when it comes to Iran, noting that China is the one that has a lot to gain from the end of this conflict.
Yeah, China really depended on Iranian oil. Most of the oil from Iran goes to China. Now that oil is being blocked by the United States, they applied the blockade now. So at first they lifted the sanctions on the oil. Now they block the oil, so they're looking for the possible solutions and scenarios. So probably they might speak about that one. I think that, honestly, China will try to bribe Donald Trump directly for him to cancel blockade. I think it's gonna be like that. Like we're gonna transfer those $30 billion, agree on something, not towards government institutions, government banks. We're gonna, transfer 50-50 to your account and partially there. A Chinese tanker got through today. Yeah, so they might bribe Donny, I think. Donny likes money. Well, that is what Jake Bro is saying usually, like whoever might have some of the influence, just give Donald Trump some of the Boeing 747, like Qatar Airways or something else, buy his crypto, rug pull scam. Yeah, so and there's the thing that this administration is corrupt also tells about this inside trades done. Then Donald Trump tweets about something, so immediately someone puts bets on the stocks. USA gave a tool and die jobs in manufacturing to China and elsewhere. All politicians talking about manufacturing jobs is lower paying jobs. Yeah, Raider. Yeah. And in America, no one will work in manufacturing jobs that massively as in China. Those are low-paid jobs, and usually immigrants, even illegal immigrants, are working there. If you get rid of immigrants, you'll get rid of your own production, let's say. Because Americans will not work for that low salary. The tanker didn't pass the United States blockade. All they did was traverse the strait from what I see. Anyone got a source to know if it passed the United States blockade? So we are not sure, yeah, guys. Less that we are not sure whether it passed or not. Everybody likes J.D. Vance will convert to Islam for a few oil wells. He should convert to Buddhism. He has Indian spouse. Hinduism.
I don't think we need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other.
So they don't need any help with Iran. But Iran needs help from China, and it receives it.
We'll win it peacefully or otherwise. Their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone.
Same broken record.
Single element of their war machine is gone.
And I want to point out immediately, like about gun. Yeah, we see that everything is gone. But I don't honestly think so. I think that after all, according to the recent reports I saw somewhere, that Iran still has like lots of the stuff left in its stockpiles. Where did I see the article? Like at least 70% of the launchers of ballistic missiles they survived, as well as the great part of the drones and still production capabilities there, so they may reproduce or produce. They need components for that, but not that much. They also have the local components still left. It's interesting. We have news published 1 hour ago. According to Reuters, citing people familiar with the matter, during the conflict with Iran, Saudi Arabia also conducted airstrikes. Yeah. It was like, it's not the news actually. Iran has again characterized the engagement between RGC and Kuwaiti forces on Bubiyan Island yesterday in a different light, with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi claiming that the engagement was instead the Kuwaiti targeting on Iranian civilians and demanded their release. He also claimed that the incident was an effort to sow discord. In clear attempt to sow discord, Kuwait has unlawfully attacked an Iranian boat that detained four of our citizens in the Persian Gulf. This illegal act took place near island used by United States to attack Iran. We demand immediate release of our nationals and reserve right to respond. So Kuwait took some of the people, maybe even soldiers. They say civilians, but they could be soldiers. Yeah, citizens, not necessarily civilians, citizens. Some people say that Iran went on some of the special forces attack, Spetsnaz forces. Dennis, have you seen the movie Groundhog Day? I don't remember. Like, we have those American movies, Hollywood movies. I might have watched many of those, but I don't know their names, because in translation to Russian, and I watch all of them in Russian, they have different names, usually. And those names have nothing to do with real names. So I don't know what they are talking about. All right, let's continue with the news. So the fact that there was the report that Iran still has lots of the capabilities. At the same time, Donny says about dismantling of Iran completely.
So here's what we expect to be on the table for these talks. China wants to lower tariffs. They currently have a 10% tariff on them. They want to talk about beef sales, soybean sales, artificial intelligence will come up, rare earth minerals for chips. Taiwan will come up. It is the largest chip maker in the world. And talking about chips, Bill, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang jumped on aboard Air Force One in Alaska during the refueling. Of course, NVIDIA's most advanced chips, those are used for training AI models. They haven't been able to get those into the Chinese market just yet because of U.S. restrictions. We'll see if that changes after these talks. And the president, like I said, will be here with a lot of CEOs. They're on your screen right now. Elon Musk among.
Also Elon Musk? Oh yeah, Elon Musk is going, you see, how important. Well, he has the production in China, and his cars are really popular there.
He was on board Air Force One. Others are.
Tim Cook was retired recently, or he's going to retire. I thought he is gone as the CEO of Apple.
Separately here. Trump Truth Social while aboard that he wants Xi to do business with these folks. So we will see if that is the result of these talks.
You know, you ask a different analyst, you get a different answer on the question.
I just look at this picture, and if you combine all of this commonwealths of those people all together, and also Donald Trump and everyone on board, you can buy probably half of the world. Well, there is no Bezos and other billionaires, but still, Elon Musk alone, it's like 800 billion. Or so, how many billions he has he? 700, I think, or 800. I don't remember, but this is crazy.
Do business with these folks. So we will see if that is the result of these talks.
You know, you ask a different analyst, you get a different answer on the question of Taiwan. It'll certainly come up. But the Americans have always said, Aisha, is that any time they talk with the Chinese delegation, Taiwan is part of the conversation.
You know, I spent some time in Taiwan a couple years ago, and they have a completely different perspective. The Chinese, just a couple of days ago, actually put out a statement saying that this is going to happen, that Taiwan really does belong to them, has historically always belonged to them.
What she means, does she mean this is going to happen? Talks or something with Taiwan?
And secession talks really don't need to come up. The Taiwanese feel very, very differently about this. I spoke with the ambassador of Taiwan to the U.S. a couple of days ago. I asked him if he feels like what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz is giving Xi more confidence to perhaps do a blockade of his own in the Taiwan Strait, which would be devastating for the global economy because Taiwan produces the most chips in the world. And the ambassador told me, you know, he should think twice. He should look at what happened in Venezuela, and he should look at what's happening in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. would not let that happen.
Good to see you again.
You as well.
Along for the ride as we go, right?
Absolutely. Here we go.
All right.
I just missed this point.
What's happening in for the global economy, because Taiwan produces the most chips
Just a
in the
moment.
world. And the ambassador told me, you know, he should think twice. He should look at what happened in Venezuela, and he should not let that happen.
Good to see.
He should. Ambassador told about. Yeah, of course. United States will do nothing about China. Nothing will happen even close. So, yeah. Ambassador of Taiwan is too optimistic about the United States. In this case, China is a freaking China. It's a big country, nuclear country. No one will commence those Maduro-style operations there.
You again.
You as well.
Along for the ride as
Absolutely.
we go, right?
Here we go.
All right, I want to bring in Dennis Wilder now, former NSC director for China. You know this topic very well. Sir, good morning to you back there in the U.S., and thank you for your time. I was struck by what you told our producers. You believe both leaders coming into this believe that they have the high hand. What does history tell you about it?
It's like with talks with Iran. Both of those delegations, they believe in a high hand. United States with Donny, we are winning, we won already. And Iran tells absolutely the same. The rhetorics is very similar, demands are similar. This is great. It's not going to end well, I guess, the situation with Iran. I also, like she said about chips, and I have this thought that we have our dependent resources, like everything dependent on them, on oil, for example, gas, and chips. And those resources are concentrated in kind of the creepy points of our planet Earth. Yeah, the situation in Taiwan may escalate and there will be huge lack of the chips. The situation in Middle East is always fishy, yeah, ready to explode any day, and it has already exploded. Hi, Johnny. So, yeah, this is the strange construction of our planet, of how it evolved into this barrel full of powder, yeah.
That's right. Well, historically, it can be a good thing. Chairman Mao thought he had the high hand with Richard Nixon. Nixon thought he had the high hand with Mao because Mao was under pressure from the Soviet Union. And it turned out that they could find complementary reasons to move the relationship forward. And you're in Beijing today as a result of what they did in 1972. So even though both of them have their own calculations, these are two very confident leaders. These are two leaders that know they run the most important nations in the world. They know that they have the ability to shape history. They're very aware of that. And so this is a fascinating meeting.
So is Donald Trump really that confident? Or maybe overconfident, it's better to say. Taiwan is too expensive for China to take. Yeah, Taiwan operation, potentially it could be, it will be, yeah, if they start it. It could be, in this case, it could be. The biggest military operation in the human history. Because of the distance, because of the resources required, so I think this stops China. If Taiwan was closer, if Taiwan was accessible via ground, I think China would have already occupied it. But this difficulty plays the great role here. And also the presence of allies, of course, everything plays the great role. However, we know that with Donald Trump, there is some window not just for Russia, but also for China in this case. Because I actually do not expect harsh reaction or prompt reaction, is better to say, from the White House administration if China starts unexpected military action on Taiwan, or expected. It wouldn't doubt if Trump bails on Taiwan like he bailed on Ukraine. Yeah, and he canceled also some of the military support for Taiwan because he needed munition for his military campaign in Iran.
Okay, Dennis, what is the main goal for the U.S. president? Conversely, what is the main goal for President Xi?
Well, for President Trump, he said it is trade. We have still a $200 billion trade deficit with the Chinese. What he hopes is that China will open its markets more. As he talks about, it's not about free trade, it's about fair trade. And right now, the Chinese hold American companies out of key sectors. One of the people on this trip, for example, is in the medical area. And American medical science has a lot of opportunities in China. Obviously, you talked earlier about Boeing aircraft. There may be a deal for 500 Boeings, beef, soybeans, but there are a lot of other things that Americans can sell to China if it opens its markets. But at this point, it keeps some American products out because it...
Yeah, because of the tariffs that Donald Trump applied. And about Boeing, China canceled the contracts with Boeing after those tariffs applied. Like this is the full-scale tariff war. At least it went absolutely unhinged with more than 200% of the tariffs. Later on, tacoed, and because it was harming United States economy too much. Now the tariffs are way lower. I'm not sure about the actual number. Well, the Fox News say 10%, or they want to cut by 10%. I'm not sure, guys. Keep mentioning the auto industry because it's the dominant sector in my area. Well, yeah, actually American cars are quite popular, especially those electrical cars like Tesla. They're very popular in China. I think it's the most popular car, Tesla Model Y. I think it's the most popular car in China.
Don't want them competing with lesser quality local products. On the Xi side,
yeah, my
this
sense
is about
coming
geopolitics.
into this is, I'm sorry about interrupting you, but it's my sense that these two men are still in the state of relationship building. Continue on, President Xi, for interrupting you.
That's right. That's right, and you shouldn't look at...
They went to build some of the relationship. Okay, like a date or something. PM, hi. PM Nutrion, what's up?
At this as a one-off event. Remember that there is opportunity this year for 4 meetings. Obviously, the president has invited Xi back to Washington for a return visit, but there's also the G7 summit and the G20 summit this year. I have never seen a year where the two leaders would meet more often, and they have that in their minds. So let's not look for everything to be resolved in this visit. That's unrealistic. But it lays the groundwork for a pretty interesting year in the relationship.
Yeah, well stated. Listen to Senator Lindsey Graham and Secretary Hegseth on Iran's...
Okay. Lindsey Graham and Hegseth. Okay. Two of the delusional idiots.
Influence or lack thereof with regard to China, and also China's influence with Russia. Just listen to this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Does China buy 90% of Iranian oil, Ms. Secretary?
China buys a very large percentage of
Okay,
Iranian
90% is pretty large. So does China buy, are they the largest purchaser of Russian oil and gas?
I would imagine they're up there, Senator.
They are. They're the largest. So President Trump, when you go to China, realize that the person you're talking to is propping up Russia and Iran.
So now there is a...
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue. They support adversaries of the United States. But for Donald Trump, Russia is not the adversary. Donald Trump is quite okay with Putin.
A common belief on the U.S. side that China and President Xi have massive sway with Iranian leadership. I don't necessarily take from your comments that they do. With regard to the IRGC, how much influence does Beijing have today on the war front, sir?
Well, I think President Trump has calculated this well. The reason he's saying he's not going to go to the Chinese, in part because we are in a good position, but in part because he knows they really don't have the kind of sway that some people would say they have. Tehran sells oil to China, but remember, we are talking about a theocracy versus a communist state. They don't have a lot in common.
Yeah, I agree. They don't have a lot in common, but somehow they cooperate. Russian world and Russian peace has nothing in common, really, with North Korea. Their strange religion state, yeah, religion, communism, or some strange ideology. They have nothing in common. Russia and Iran has nothing in common, also for their ideology. Even beliefs are different, mainly. Well, there are some Muslims in Russia, but way less than in Iran. But they cooperate because they're dictators, and they are capable to sell drones. They're capable to transfer goods, equipment, artillery shells. North Korea alone supplied Russia with more artillery shells than Ukraine obtained from all of the allies, including the United States. So even though he says that, this expert says that it's not enough support for those countries, they're different, but they're capable to unite, I would say even stronger than current Western partners, unfortunately, especially with Donald Trump, who came to power. It seems like for him, the difference between allies and potential enemies doesn't exist. He treats everyone the same, and more even preferable, or how to say it, better in his mood towards dictators like Putin.
In many ways. Sure, China wants the Strait of Hormuz reopened. It would like to get back to selling weapons and buying cheap oil from the Iranians. But really, there's not an awful lot of evidence that they have a big pull with IRGC or anybody else.
Former CIA Deputy Assistant Director for East Asia, Denys Wilder, you spent a lot of time in this.
Former CIA Deputy, okay, maybe he knows more than me. I'm just a guy on YouTube, but it seems like I also read media, so that's why I'm sure that I'm more correct about this topic, that China really might support, for example, Russia a lot. Okay, it's time for the comments. Steve Detroit back and Trump, this is for you. He doesn't see you. What is happening with J.D. Vance? Vice President Vance, after speaking with envoys Witkoff and Kushner, says Iran talks are still progressing, but that Trump needs to feel confident that we've put a number of protections in place, such as Iran will never have nuclear weapons. Okay, so... Oh, this is Russia. Not a nuclear explosion yet, but something similar. At night, Ukrainian Special Operation Forces attacked the Russian Taman Neftegas oil and gas terminal and the port of Taman on Russia's Black Sea coast. And this is the image from the port itself, looks like. And yeah, this looks amazing. A mushroom cloud is always nice to see. Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, that's my agree. Yeah. I trust a puthead a day more than an alcoholic operate a crack method. Yeah. Typical Russia. Yeah, nowadays Russia really suffers with long-range strikes. Yeah, this one is very important. So New York Times, with the article, United States intelligence reports that Chinese companies have discussed secretly selling weapons to Iran via third countries to conceal the shipments, for them not to be direct. So third countries, some of them could be used for this shipment. Mariupol theater book will be released on a week. Why is this being forgotten? Yeah, today I got in my recommendations. What's the name of the guy? Preston Stewart. Yeah, he came out with his video. I think I'm gonna share it on my channel and we're gonna speak about it. About Mariupol and the drama theater that was really hit hard. Yeah, about Ukraine, we have just the update from Kate from Ukraine. She's definitely from Ukraine, and she reports about explosions. Fourth and fifth explosions in Kharkiv, very loud, windows are shaking, fuck. So she reports, she is often on Twitter. That's why I still have my account on Twitter. I know that many of the people, they closed their accounts, but I just follow some of the people who still post there, and that's why I keep my accounts. Our experts, Ossens, what the hell is that? SSO captured 2 occupiers. Oh, those storming actions are usually happening, yeah, especially nowadays. Then the weather becomes better. Both of the sides intensified those kind of the attacks. Okay, they're alive. They want McDonald's. They will eat McDonald's later on. So they survive, they will leave. Those are Russians who surrendered. Very interesting. Had a big... Hi, Swain. Hit the thumb up to support the channel. Yeah, guys, don't forget to press the like to the stream if you watch me on YouTube. Mariupol port is now operating as a full military civilian logistics hub with Russian tanker Evgenia approaching to its second May call. Routes from Yeysk to Mariupol are being routes, not Reuters. Routes from Yeysk to Mariupol are being registered directly. Despite partial transponder games, fuel unloaded in the ports and reportedly distributed onward by the rail and by the roads, with the vehicle leg handled by mainly military. Okay. So Yeysk and across the sea to Mariupol. Not a huge leg, yeah. 100 with something kilometers. Hey Evelyn, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. More strikes happen on Russia. The last day. Oh, we have motorcycles, crazy boys. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has confirmed strikes on Taman Naftogaz oil terminal in Volna, Krasnodarsky Krai, where the fire was reported, I think, or recorded on video, I know. This facility handles the transshipment of oil, fuel and diesel fuel and liquefied hydrocarbon gases. And supplies are needed to Russian occupation forces. In addition, Ukraine forced strike command post near Staromlynivka, Soledar and Komoshivanka, a UAV control point in Mirny, as well as concentration of the enemy manpower in several sectors. Yeah, quite a loud night was for Russia. Hi, Hogue. And of course, on the ground news, we have on page number 1, Trump arrives in Beijing for the talks with China, Xi on Iran war, trade. Okay. This guy tells that Trump is on Epstein files. Probably he is. Fox News, we have on top podcast options. And CBC. Oh, sorry, SBS News. What is SBS? I don't know. Very high factuality. Hopefully it's accessible. Come on. I need to click on the article itself. What is this? This is French or what? And immediately I have recommendations. Microphones, cameras. Yeah, exactly what I like. Some of the girls maybe also? No. Sometimes they also happen. Donald Trump arrived in China. Okay. Accompanied by his son Eric and Lara. Letter's wife. The American president followed Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was greeted upon arrival in Beijing. Okay. Received with the great... Okay. Delegation of the businessmen, including Elon Musk. Well, nothing really new so far. Two superpowers engaged in a fierce trade war in 2025, since 2025. I kicked the wrong news here. Well, anyways, nothing to see here. I expect the meeting might happen. Well, it's the night time in China, I think. So tomorrow morning. Mr. Ketamine goes to China, yeah. He knows what Denys wants. AI, yeah. It's not AI, it's like Google. Does it use AI to know what I want? I think I just Google sometimes something and it just gives me it. Most people have no idea what GDP means. Most of the time it's not relevant to the topic in hand. Yeah. It's like that. You know, just yesterday, one of my videos, it went, I wouldn't say viral, but I have like plus 300 subscribers on my Twitch. This is my page. I wonder which one went viral. I just uploaded it on, here, this one. Update from Ukraine. Fantastic news. Ukraine pushed the Russian army in south direction. On YouTube, it also went #1, for the last week at least. And I never had such big number of the views, so many like shares, reposts, likes, 1.1 thousand. That's great. But the rest of the videos, this is my repost. Usually it's like 250 views, but that one got thousands of views. 205, one like half a thousand. This is not mine. 220, 100. Like that one went absolutely viral. See, this one 87. And this is the stream. So yeah. Getting more subscribers on Twitter. Maybe we'll try to sell them recalled Cybertrucks. I don't like the Cybertruck. Have you seen this feature with the wheel? That it has this control by wire system, and there is the huge delay for wheel rotation and change the direction of the steering of the wheels themselves. Hence the correction. Heavy direction taxation for now. Okay. Yeah. News for Ukrainian refugees. And I want to go to a Ukrainian Day. It will happen in Germany, but it's like at least 5 hours from me by car, and I'm still thinking to go there. I need to book some of the hotel, And I work every day, so probably I'll not go. But I really want to join some of the community. Like for Ukrainian Day, there will be some of the food, some of the celebration, some of the meeting. The idea is to collect the funds for ambulances. Like this is kind of the charity day, but at the same time, it will be like Ukrainian Day for this, like a session, like the meeting. European Union may extend protection for refugees from Ukraine till 2028. EU Special Representatives for Ukraine 2028. Given the current situation, I think the European Commission will propose to extend for another year. I think EU member states will agree to this. Yeah, I also think like that. It will be extended. They don't have that alternate, and the strikes in Ukraine, they happen. And they happen elsewhere, also in the Western Ukraine. Today it was hit. And for the first time, Hungary called an ambassador of the Russian Federation to explain why they attacked the place with Hungarians. Because in not Transcarpathian region, I think it's called, Zakarpattia, maybe Transcarpathian region, yeah, in English. We call it Zakarpattia, so behind Carpathian Mountain. This is Uzhgorod, so the place where lots of the Hungarians live, relative to like rest of the Ukrainian oblast. Still they're like minority, but many of them live there. And Peter Magyar called a Russian ambassador to explain why those attacks are happening on nationals, Hungarians. It's very bad or something like that. And they're looking for maybe to apply not extra sanctions, but they will do something, like some action. What kind of the action, we'll see. But imagine the same move from Orban. It wouldn't be possible. So even though some of the European countries, like, for example, Norway, well, it's not the part of EU, but still, and by the way, Switzerland, they say that, there are the places, they apply to legislation, that there are some of the places in Ukraine, some of the regions where it's safe. Actually, it's not safe elsewhere, especially with those Russian strikes. And I know that family in Lviv, like it was perished because of the Shahed drone strike, and like it is happening very often. And this is stupid that they announced that some of the regions are safe. It's not safe. You flew a drone above the clouds about 10 years ago. That was so cool. Josh Dio. Yeah. I'm not sure whether it was 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago, really? I think it was just before the war. I think it was in 2021. Above the clouds, yeah, I think I have this video had. I was stupid because, it's dangerous to fly DJI drone. Like FPV you can fly, yeah, it's easy. But DJI drone has sensors, and if the clouds, they're more or less dense, you can go and you will not be capable to go back. So usually you don't have sensors on the top, so you can penetrate the cloud. But if they're quite moist, thick clouds, if you try to descend, drone would understand it as the ground. And there is no option to cancel those ground sensors, which are located below. So you can go to the sport mode and you'll have side sensors off. Or you can switch them off manually. But there is no option for like drone things that it is landing. So you cannot like penetrate the clouds from above, below. Well, I hadn't got this issue, maybe because clouds were not that moist. But I saw multiple of the clips, and people in the comments, they told me, Denys, never do it again because you may like lose your drone, because it will just fly there. It will think that it's all over the ground, and it will fly until the battery is being depleted. And it goes like, ooh, something like, it will start like descent, yeah. It will start to descend to the surface, like it will it will go down, like descend to the surface, but the surface is not the ground. So drone will think that it is landing on the ground, but you'll have like several hundred meters to go, and the battery is not enough to continue. So drone thinks that it's like landing, and it goes just into the cloud. Battery is being depleted, and it goes down. So yeah, that is how people lose the drone sometimes, above the clouds. I've already flown through the clouds. Nice. Well, it depends on the model of the drone. I think Mini 3 is okay for that. There is some visible ring around Prague Castle, a drone which gets to close lands. Yeah, running out of power could cause a forced landing. Yeah, of course, but it will try to land on a cloud. I see lots of the Chinese people, tourists in the United States. They are dressed well and behave very well, except they seem either afraid to speak or conceited, or they have poor English, so very friendly. Yeah, they're okay-ish. I mean, they're educated people in China now, getting more educated. But of course, they're incomparable to Japan people. They're very, very more educated. In China, like tourists, they're more educated than people in China themselves. There they can, how to call this, in like boogeymans. They may cough, they may spit, they may throw garbage. Well, not in the main cities already, like big cities, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Beijing, but sometimes it is happening. In the smaller cities it is happening. I was in China, in Xinjiang, and it's kind of dirty. The hotel was dirty. Snot rockets, yeah, snot. Yeah, we have the report about it. Ukrainian drone operators. That's the video I filmed today. Ukrainian drone operators overwhelmed NATO forces during exercise in Sweden. Associated Press. During drills on the island of Gotland, Ukrainian UAV operators acted as the simulated enemy. They carried out a mock attack on the island, which was being defended by NATO forces. Being defended, so they didn't occupy. Harsh thumbnail I created. One operator with call sign Tariffs said Swedish troops halted the exercise 3 times to rethink their tactics. According to him, in real battle, those units would have been destroyed. So yeah, maybe they defended Gotland on the paper. Sweden's army chief Michael Biden. It's all about Biden, or it's all because of the Biden. Said that after the drills, NATO forces urgently need to learn modern drone warfare from Ukraine. The experience of Ukrainian UAV operators is now considered among the most advanced in the world. Ukraine is currently discussing drone technology partnerships with Romania, Latvia, and Finland, and has already reached an agreement with Lithuania.
The scenario is about we have on the eastern side of the NATO borders, on the eastern side, like Finland and the Baltic states, we have a massive build-up of enemy units, so concentration of units on that side.
Of course, they will not say that we fucked up completely to the press, like everything is polite, but it seems like, yeah. Most of the comments are coming from our guys, drone operators. They say that, cheers.
We also have, within Sweden and other allied nations, we have hybrid activities. It's an increased level of hybrid activities like sabotage, cyber attacks, influence operations, things like that.
They are miles ahead of us when it comes to drone warfare, so we really appreciate them coming here to share their experiences with us, and we have a lot to learn from them.
I think with what you see here, though, this is a priority. Obviously, by still having U.S. capability here, we maintain a priority to continue to
even the United States are there.
Train and exercise within NATO and involved.
What the fuck is this? What is this ugly plane?
Still having U.S.
It's the piloted airplane, right? It's the first time I see this shit.
Capability here, we maintain a priority to continue to train and exercise within NATO and
what the hell is this? I need to ask. It's good that we have now artificial intelligence. What the hell is this? I'm not sure. But let's take some pictures from the screen. And yeah. What is this plane? It's not a drone, you see. I mean this one. It's not a drone. It has glass in front, so it's the piloted airplane. Some very small one. And for what's the purpose? Looking as images, it appears to be a helicopter. What? Okay, Claude AI is stupid. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, once again, I need to take the photos. It's Claude AI says that it's a helicopter. I believe. And I thought, like, this, what is this plane? No, it's not a plane. It's white German? What white German? Alcon. Welcome to Twitch. ChatGPT is analyzing a lot. McDonald's in China serves rice as well. Yeah, in Indonesia too. In most of the Asian countries it serves rice because it's very popular. What is this plane? It's still thinking. ChatGPT is still like, what have you presented? Your stream show me like German. How? Where do you see that like German? You mean the country? Is it out there somewhere? I don't know. It seems like everything in English, no? No or yes? It's military observer. I'm not, yeah, is it military observer? I'm not sure. It's still like thinking. It's still thinking. ChatGPT is shocked. We broke AI with this image. Where do you come from, bro? Well, I am now streaming from Switzerland, but I'm from Ukraine. Claude is not really multimodal, just text bot. Ah, I see. Okay, it looks mostly like Pilatus PC6 Turbo Porter. It says single propeller in the nose. No, it has propeller in the back. Come on, Pilatus PC. Guten Abend. Allkommen. Freut mich, but I don't know German. I'm sorry. It's some sort of the ultralight plane. Yeah, for a maximum 2 pilots, maybe a single pilot. I think it's used for surveillance. But in real war, no one uses that stuff any longer. Those are drones which conduct surveillance operations. Like, what? Why? Literally, read my last message. I just told you the plane. Really? Dallas. This is a Beta Technologies Alia electric cargo plane. Ah. Okay, we should cross-check where is it. Thanks for telling me. Like, this is your comment. Alia. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dallas. Let me see.
I see you on the weekend, darling.
We have advertisement. I'm so sorry. Come on, go.
Magnesium is pink.
Go on YouTube.
Base 44 super agents.
And advertisements once again, then you switch it. Okay, skip. Oh, this thing. It's big, actually. It looks big, yeah?
Paris Air Show, where electric aircraft are turning heads. Right behind me is Beta's Alia CX-300 aircraft.
Alia,
We're going to be hearing
Zalia
from the
or
company's
Alia.
founder, Kyle Clark, about what they're doing to bring this to market.
Wow. Looks like Mercy, yeah.
So Beta's approach to getting these aircraft into commercial service is a little bit different. They're starting...
Can you teach me some Ukrainish? Budmo. It means cheers. What do you say as then before you drink in Germany?
with a conventional takeoff and landing version of the aircraft. And the reason they're doing that is because they believe they can complete the certification process more quickly than for the full VTOL version.
I thought it's small, but it's huge, you see? This is crazy huge. It has turboprop engine, not even a piston one. What the hell is this? The place for the fuel?
More quickly than for the full VTOL version that will come a little bit later. Today, we've also had some fresh news from Beta. Republic Airways has signed an agreement to take delivery of one of these Alia aircraft. It's going to use it to train its pilots and also to work out what sort of routes might be viable. The suggestion is that in the long term, Republic may take multiple examples of this aircraft and use them for a variety of cargo and passenger carrying versions.
Thank you guys all for covering this.
In Switzerland, in Canton Zurich. Alcohol. I don't know why they used it. Like, sometimes I think that European politicians and the European system is too corrupt. Because no one uses in the war those... Like, this airplane is kind of useless. It's better to just get a helicopter if you really want to transport something. It's more versatile, like, than the cargo airplane flying under fire there. Like, no one uses those. For helicopters, sometimes, like, landing operation was done by Ukrainian who were using UH-60 in Pokrovsk direction. I report about it. But this plane, like, it could be profitable. It could be profitable. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's completely useless. If you put some Gatling cannon, as Ukraine did with Antonov 28, yeah, some Gatling cannon on the side to shut down the drones. But as a cargo delivery aircraft, as they show on the front line somewhere, can it drop something from it, like from the altitude? I don't see the ramp really. it doesn't exist. I mean, the ramp is not there. Like, what's the use of this cargo thing? It opens from the side. Like, where is the door? It's like the whole construction. Here's the door. Here's the door from the side. Could be good for the skydiving, by the way. Just remove this door, and this could be perfect for skydivers. I think you may take 6 skydivers per once, maybe more.
Of a rule that we set at beta, which is we don't show up.
Looks interesting. At first I thought that it's ugly, now I see it's kind of interesting airplane. But again, what's the use for the, like, it's better to have some of the helicopter, honestly.
To an air show unless we fly the airplane there. So it was a driving force to get the airplane here, and a little...
As an anti-drone airplane could be good. You have a very big ramp, you may put, for sure, it will may carry Gatling cannon, and you may have many of those searching for Shaheds. Like here, you can see also good for some business trips. Yeah, potential of this airplane, I see it. It should be good one. But for military use, on the front lines as they show, not really.
Through TUV, Ireland to build a network in...
That thing is more important. UH-60S, I think, this one.
To Europe. That little plug right there is the same plug you use to start a jet through a auxiliary power converter. That's what that plugs into. So now we get to put that in the back of the airplane, land at any airport, charge it up, and keep going. And people ask us all the time, how did you stop at 80 airports in the US? Well, we do it by putting that charger either in the plane or having them pre-positioned, plus the network that we're on. A couple quick things about the airplane, and then we'll get on to some news.
The only thing with this charger, like he says, okay, we have those connections in every airport, that is the socket that is used to power up airplanes in every sort of the gate or something, but this is kind of expensive as well, because usually you have a separate generator working. And this plane, well, on a gate, you have the common power supply, yeah? So then usual airplane, a big commercial one, or a smaller commercial one, arrives to the gate goes, and you have this kind of the connection. It's called ground power. So you connect ground power, you switch off your engines or auxiliary power unit, which is the smaller engine, and that's it. Airplane stays energized from this airport power, from the general system of the airport. But this is not the plane which will be parked on a gate. No one will put it to the gate. The gate doesn't exist for those smaller planes. So it will be put separately on remote parking stand, right on the apron, and for it to be charged, in this case, there either should be the connector coming from the ground, like the sockets, and they are quite rare, or, as in most of the cases, there will be a separate generator should be delivered to power this airplane, and the generator, the usual generator, GPU. This is a big, loud, and expensive thing. Yeah, some of them are smaller, but usually in big airports you'll have at least something like that. At least something like that. So this is the cart, it's been delivered by a tractor or something, and it energizes the airplanes. Usually, yeah, like this one. So it's the diesel generator that is made especially to power airplanes. Why aircraft need ground power? Yeah. So if you're on a remote stand and if you need ground power, usually those carts are being delivered. And for that small airplane, if they say that it's gonna be cheaper, well, maybe, yeah, it's cheaper to burn diesel to refuel the airplane, but it also I have the questions in this case, like how much time, how long it might take to recharge the battery. Sometimes you have those trucks even as GPUs, yeah. Some airports, they have mixed, like there is a GPU AC. I wonder if we'll have it here. So you have air condition and GPUs all together. If you're lucky, you'll have it right on the apron stuff, but it's very, very rare. By the way, ATR, Aviation Transportal Régional, I think it's the name in French, ATR. So yeah, still you use those things from airport. It's maybe cheaper, but yeah.
That motor you see over there, H500A, that's our first major certification.
Also about those GPUs, they're sometimes not available. They don't have like lots of the GPUs for every parking stand, so it depends on airfield capacity in particular day. Yeah. Wie alt bist du, mein Freund? I will teach you some German. German, okay. The only potential I can see is some sort of the stealthy operations. It would emit less heat and sound from the engines. Yeah, and also itself, the airplane itself is made from composite materials, so they're less radar reflective compared to alloy. My stepdad used to skydive in early 2000s, and I would go up with him in Cessna 182, spend hours and hours in a small 182 turboprop, flew it a few times. Oh, awesome toaster! I'm surprised. 182 is great. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna go to bathroom and return in a few minutes, all right?
Behind me is Beta's Aliyah CX-300 aircraft. We're going to be hearing from the company's founder, Kyle Clark, about what they're doing to bring this to market. So Beta's approach to getting these aircraft into commercial service is a little bit different. They're starting with a conventional takeoff and landing version of the aircraft. And the reason they're doing that is because they believe they can complete the certification process more quickly than for the full VTOL version that will come a little bit later. Today, we've also had some fresh news from Beta. Republic Airways has signed an agreement to take delivery of one of these Aliyah aircraft. It's going to use it to train its pilots and also to work out what sort of routes might be viable. The suggestion is that in the long term, Republic may take multiple examples of this aircraft and use them for a variety of cargo and passenger carrying versions.
Thank you guys all for covering this thing that we find very, very important. Obviously, it's a passion of a whole lot of people at Beta. As you guys know, this is Aliyah. This is our conventional takeoff and landing version. We have this version and a vertical takeoff and landing version. We just flew this here from Ireland through the UK, across the Irish Sea, across the English Channel, and got clearance to fly here at the Paris Air Show, which was kind of the punchline of a rule that we set at Beta, which is we don't show up to an air show unless we fly the airplane there. So it was a driving force to get the airplane here, and a little bit about the aircraft. The aircraft has 5 batteries in the belly of it. It's got a dual redundant electric motor on the back. Everything about this aircraft is identical to the vertical takeoff and landing, except we omit the vertical lift props off this aircraft. And so our market entry strategy here is cargo, logistics, and passenger in CTOL, utilizing all that manufacturing and certification expertise into VTOL. And our belief is that actually puts us in market in VTOL passenger faster than anybody else in this space. This flight over here in Europe and a whole sequence of flights which end up in Norway, flying 6 months of missions, proving the reliability, utility, and most importantly, the economics. We just did some flights in the US into JFK, flew from the Hamptons into JFK, and it was $7 of electricity, which is usually somewhere around $350 to $500 of fuel. So the economics of this is awesome. Our customers need to see it to believe it, and so that's where Bristow is taking the aircraft and flying 6 months of missions to see the economics of it. We have our charging systems here. There's a small charger on the left. We have a 30 and a 60 kilowatt charger. That charger is just completing CE, which is through TUV, a mark in Europe that allows us to have a certified charger in Europe. Last year we completed UL certification on that charger. We have a network all through the US, and we're launching out of Ireland to build a network into Europe. That little plug right there is the same plug you use to start a jet through a auxiliary power converter. That's what that plugs into. So now we get to put that in the back of the airplane, land at any airport, charge it up, and keep going. And people ask us all the time, how did you stop at 80 airports in the US? Well, we do it by putting that charger either in the plane or having them pre-positioned, plus the network that we're on. A couple quick things about the airplane, and then we'll get on to Steve. That motor you see over there, H500A, that's our first major certification program. It's a dual redundant motor. That has 575 horsepower peak, 400 horsepower continuous, 5-bladed prop for noise. And then the cargo volume here. So don't take a picture of me because I'm 250 pounds and 6'7", but this cargo volume here is roughly equivalent to what a free packed Sprinter van is. So now when UPS or Amazon brings cargo to where they're going, this thing's chock full, 200 cubic feet, and the package density has been tuned to match that 200 cubic feet, 1,250 pounds, 5 to 6 pounds per cubic foot. That all comes out and goes in a van for distribution. The shelf height here matches the belt height. All of that thoughtful engineering goes into making this a cargo and logistics airplane. This is the launch of the Garmin G3000 Prime here, where we actually have partitioned software to do the fly-by-wire system, the batteries, and all the propulsion. So all those synoptics have been reviewed by the FAA.
I just don't understand the design. Why do they have those kind of how to call those, longerons between horizontal stabilizer and the wing? I would understand if they had, for example, engines there installed, like to reinforce this part of the construction, but they had a single motor on the back. So is it the place where they store fuel?
Reviewed by the FAA and put into this aircraft first. So the exciting part about today is we just executed an agreement with Republic Airlines to provide a very similar aircraft to this to start crew training this year in the US at all of their relevant routes, leaning into identifying the routes that they're going to launch our aircraft on. So this is going to be for both cargo and passenger aircraft, and it's starting with CTOL and will go to VTOL aircraft. So this is a big deal for us to get into that executed agreement.
That's the structure design for the next motors, Dennis. You missed it. See another photos of for VTOL. I'm sorry. Well, interesting. So they have one frame, and they will like it could be a single motor, it could be VTOL, it could be like nice. It sounds like they're Europeans, yeah, better technologies, or no? Paris Air, so Aviation International News, or are they Americans? Then it's for frame strengths on the side of cargo area. I have a feeling this company will fold after they get enough funding. Also could be, yeah, there are some of the projects, but I would try to test it, as I tested this Elixir aircraft, but they're mass producing those, they're a successful company. But this is the project, and I would like to fly it and test in a video. That would be awesome. Looks pretty cool to me, yeah. Because they want to use same frame for the VTOL. Okay, yeah, understood. Thank you, guys. Looks
We
interesting.
have to start by getting the aircraft in their hands, starting the flights, training their pilots, validating their routes.
Unretractable landing gear. Well, I'm not sure. It would be better for it to be retractable.
Maintenance, or the lack of the maintenance, and moving on to
These very varied flights into JFK, regulators more comfortable because you're demonstrating more to them than if you just stayed in Vermont.
100%. I mean, I just got down from Cologne at the EASA FAA Safety Conference, and this was exactly the point. Because initially they're like, hey, we've got a bunch of jets setting up for the RNAV 13 into JFK. They're like, can you keep 130 knots on the way in? Sure, no problem, right? They want to know that you can fly those routes without screwing up the balance of traffic. They want to know that we can get in and out of icing safely. Like, this has to be certificated.
Yeah, what's about icing, by the way? I see that probably they have the icing elements, like boots, we call them boots, on the airframe behind, on horizontal, vertical stabilizers. They just inflate, like boot and crack the ice. Not like too much effective system, but it works. But what do they have on the wing? Like, I don't see any sort of the de-icing here, just a hollow frame. And that's it. Like, no any elements which could be heated. I don't think that they're equipped with de-icing system or even anti-icing. And here, this model, it doesn't have those boots, de-icing boots, even on the horizontal and vertical stabilizers. It's absent. So even smaller planes, they're equipped with some of the anti-icing and de-icing compared to this one. But it looks interesting, yeah. Why not? It sounds like Cali Surf dude, yeah? If it were a European project, it would have more faith in it. But too many companies in the United States started by tech bros fold after they got enough money to walk away. So this is still freaking experimental thing. Yeah, 10 months ago it was shown, and somehow they're already participating in those military exercises. Yeah, they're spotted flying over the Gotland Island. Probably United States military took this aircraft. It is United States. This is the United States military. Swedes would not fly this shit. So this is United States Army. They also took part, and they flown. Maybe this aircraft was used to fly, to test it, and to check out what is happening there. Or I don't know for what reason it is there. It is still experimental. I understand, but okay. VD40, diagonal stabilizers. So I don't see why. Like, still too much shit is happening in those military drills. It's like clownish if they, as for me, if they need to focus on the real stuff, you know? But they put some shit there. Okay, it's up to them. It's better to send some of the drones to develop drones and operate with the drones, not undeveloped aircraft. They put undeveloped aircraft. Have you seen those aircraft flying on the front lines? I have never seen those. I mean, even small transport aircraft, they fly, but kind of far away from the front lines. What is this? Iraqi security source to Al Arabiya. 2 explosive drones targeted the headquarters of Iran's opposition party in Erbil. So Iran's security source to Al Arabiya. 2 explosive drones targeted headquarters of Iranian opposition party. So Iran is sending drones to Erbil to hit opposition party located in Iraq. Shark area is ideal for the frontline spotting. What is this? United States Army has canceled the deployment of the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team, 1st Cavalry Division, more than 4,000 soldiers and associated equipment to Poland. I heard that Donald Trump himself was telling that the United States might take the forces out from Germany and send those to Poland. So maybe they're canceling new deployment to relocate part of the soldiers from Germany to Poland. He says we have a good relation with Poland. Well, maybe it's better. Yeah, Poland is closer to Ukraine, closer to Belarus. I think for Putin it is worse than to have United States soldiers in Germany. I still want a paramotor. Oh, yeah, paramotor is nice. Here, unfortunately, you cannot fly with paramotor. Well, you can just on territory of airfield, like in the area. You cannot just take paramotor and fly like a glider or an airplane. Here it's forbidden. I wonder why. In the United States, you can fly it easily, like you can travel on paramotor. In Ukraine, I think as well, at least before the war, it was possible to fly. Like people making trips, they took the paramotor and they flew like across Ukraine, brrr, landing near the gas stations, refueling, fly again. Brrr. Some of the gear, tents, stuff for cooking, and yeah, interesting. Poland got super serious about getting stronger military. They're refurbishing their military. That's why I don't think that Putin will attack Poland. They're already strong. Baltics, no. Baltics, not enough power, sadly. Like air backpacking low, that sounds so fun, yeah. So much is happening. Recently I got an email from one of the Ukrainian followers. He's Ukrainian. He has his like some sort of the channel. Yeah, not many views, but anyways. And he was explaining me how it's better for me with my studio. Don't put the light here, put the light here. Don't use this one. Don't use mic with a stand, like this stand, like I have it here. Oh, shit. Yeah. So do this, do that, do this shit. And then I have like, what are you telling me? Come on. And then I watched his video. He's using like standard DJI microphone, mic 2, even placing it in the wrong position. And filming the videos himself near some sort of the lamp. I was like, okay. Giving me advices. Oh, this is shit. This cool channel, where are you? I'm here with you, Keith. Give me 5. Poland good. Yeah, Poland. I just gave you a yellow card. You don't want to give me red card, right? What is ban? Don't ban people. What the hell? American Airlines flight from Miami landed in Chicago on flat tires. Boeing 737 touched down normally, then main gear went flat while taxiing. It happens. Just one tire or both tires?
We're hearing from passengers who were on this American Airlines plane from Miami that landed in Chicago with 2 flat tires.
Two from one side. Yeah, shit happens.
You can see the plane is surrounded by fire trucks and airport staff. This was after it landed safely at O'Hare late last night. The FAA says the crew reported an issue with the main landing gear tire.
And when we landed, they stopped the plane and they said, oh, we can't get off because we discovered that both of our main tires are busted. So we waited almost 2 hours to get off, just until they figured out how to get us off. CPD, CFD came, got us off the plane.
When we were landing, I thought it was a smooth landing, but my sister was farther back in the plane and she felt it sway a little bit, she thought.
American Airlines says the plane has been taken out of service and will be inspected.
Yeah, you cannot put it in service without 2 tires. I had the similar case in my aviation career on ATR 72. I landed on a shorter runway and it was like kind of the bumpy. The runway was covered with water. And I decided to brake a little more. I think I got even aquaplaning on the landing. And then I stopped. Like everything went fine. I texted to the apron to the parking stand and passengers disembarked as usual. And then I walked out from the airplane. I saw like one tire is flat. The other one was still holding, but it was like sipping. The air was coming out, and yeah, it just overheated the brakes. So there are some of the special fuses. They melt down because of the high temperature, and they let air to go, just not to let tires to explode because of the high temperature. This is the special feature. So there is some metal in those fuses. It melts at some certain temperature, and the air goes out for chassis not to explode. And yeah, so we lost one tire, then the air was like coming out from another one, and we actually carried one tire with us just in case. And technician was in every airport, and it was a remote one. So he said, okay, I'm gonna put the tire, but of course we need to order one more tire. And yeah, our airline contacted some other airline that was flying there, and those guys, they took tire to us, and yeah, we changed 2 tires in general and flew back. Yeah, that was the case. But Indonesians, they're so friendly. Like, I called to my chief pilot and say, do I need to say something about this case? And he said, well, if you want, you may write some report if you're willing to. Okay. Like in Ukraine, it would be, oh, this is some terrible stuff happened. But there, it's like fine. Shit happens. Tires are surely overrated, yeah. So I think I pressed too much brakes, and because I was not sure whether I may, like the landing was in touchdown zone, but the runways usually, they are short for Indonesia, and it was covered by water, so we calculated the landing distance, but always calculate, but you never know, yeah. So I pressed, especially it was my first landing in that airport, so I pressed, and both tires went out, one by one. Poland got super serious about the game. Yeah, I read that one. So yeah, everything, something new is happening in aviation, so those cases. Did you know that the United States may approve the military support? I think we are speaking about $8 or $9 billion. So in the House, there is in the House of Representatives, there is the discharge petition on bill about military aid to Ukraine. Now the bill is obligated to be put on the vote by passing Speaker Johnson. Johnson before canceled that, but because of this petition, it went through. So the bill was introduced by Democrat Gregory Meeks back in April 2025, so 1 year ago, even more. He proposed allocate $8 billion, after all, in military aid to Ukraine, direct military support for 2026 in the form of a loan, imposing new sanctions against Russia, also in the bill, and generally strengthening support for Ukraine, including reopening the land lease, although it's not entirely clear what this means in practice. Yeah, of course. But it is not just about Ukraine, it's also about the Baltic states, support for NATO, general, the whole package you can throw at them. Yeah. Naturally speaking, Johnson did not even consider this bill, but in July 2025, Gregory Meeks opened a discharge petition to put the law into the vote by a passing speaker. Most Democrats signed the petition, and by the end of 2025, two of the most pro-Ukrainian Republicans, Don Becken and Brian Fitzpatrick, also signed. In April, Democrats secured all of their signatures, but they were one vote short of petition. And suddenly Kevin Coyne, who is in March left Republican Party and became an independent, today provided missing vote. So now they have 218 votes for petition. So what is next? The vote is scheduled to make plan in the House in the first week of June, so the next month. Political report about it. And the House, there will likely to be enough votes to, and even surplus, to approve it. Next, Senate. There are two theoretically, there would be enough votes, but without Trump's signature, of course, it will be stalled. It could be stalled. This project could be stalled by Trump personally. So in the case nothing will, so we are sure that nothing will happen. This comes from one of the pro-Ukrainian channels. So in the case nothing will happen before the elections in November, but if the Democrats somehow take over Senate in November, which is still unlikely, although if Trump continues to mess up like this, anything could happen. Then options may appear if there are 2/3 of the votes for the package in Senate. If there are 2/3 votes, it bypasses Trump's signature. So theoretically, majority of House, 2/3 of Senate, and the military support could be taken. So we'll keep an eye on this thing. The main conclusion for the for today, that support for Ukraine in the United States is very strong still, and there is still bipartisan majority. And if it weren't for Trump, the aid would not have disappeared. And yes, thanks to Gregory Meeks and Democrats who signed the petition, Republicans Don Becken and Brian Fitzpatrick, who go against Trump's policy, and already independent Congressman Kevin Coyne, who left Republican Party. So, out of nowhere, I would say, no one put attention on that package, and now there is some little tiny chance for it to be taken at least by Congress and Senate. So, very interesting, very interesting. Maybe Donald Trump may sign it and say, like, okay, Ukraine is sharing some of the drone technologies with us, as you say, yeah? So it's like, we are helping the military support, but we are like giving them Like it's some sort of the exchange of technologies. He might present it. We're gonna give them our mighty army tools. They're still the best, but they're best in something else. We don't really need their help, but okay. Something like that he might tell. I think Democrats guaranteed to take House but not Senate. I also think so. It had to be transactional with Trump. You do a deal. The thing that they are doing is, it is a change. What change? Ben, what are you saying about? Just smell the Indians from us. Okay, what we have from JD Vance. JD Vance just suspended $1.3 billion in medicated payments to California. California has some massive fraud, red flags, including payments for illegal aliens. Aliens, UFO. He also warning all 50 states, prosecute fraud or lose your anti-fraud finding. Stupid balls. United States believes Iran could obtain weapons-grade uranium within weeks. Iran's existing stockpile of uranium enriched 60% could be further enriched within weeks to 90%, which is suitable for nuclear weapons, United States Energy Secretary Chris Wright states. I think they are speaking about weeks for 20 years at least. Yeah. I think there was the compilation somewhere, Netanyahu. Weeks. They're months away, weeks away. Well, yes, maybe they are, but they're not making it. Oh, Charles III, again pro-Ukrainian statement. Charles III announced Britain's unwavering support for the people of Ukraine. In this unstable world, my government will continue to pursue a foreign policy based on a calm assessment of national interest. It will continue to unwaveringly support the brave people of Ukraine who are fighting on the front lines of freedom. The King added that the British government will continue to improve relations with European partners, strengthening Europe's security, and will also fight for long-term peace in the Middle East and creation of an independent state of Palestine. Sometimes I think that monarchy is even good. Then you have right monarch in power. I think it's better than to have Prime Minister Nigel Farage. But yeah, now monarchy in UK. Do they have real influence? I think they still have an influence. I think they have, after all. It's good that King supports Ukraine that much. It's actually huge. Maybe one of the biggest supports we have from all of the leaders like out there. Saminalito did research. It's true. Step from 60 to 19. It's not near difficult as from 30 to 60. Yeah. Perhaps if facilities were fully operational, I think it would be soon, but it's also no. The downside now, negotiations are impossible now. Iran has no reason not to get nuclear weapon. Yeah, Iran will get nukes. It's their priority. And they blackmail with that. So they keep uranium at 60% because, as you say, yeah, it's correct, that enriching uranium from 60 to 90, it's easier and faster. So they're always in this state, And even on previous negotiations before the full-scale war or special military operation, they stated that they have 450 kilograms. So we have it. It was like a blackmail of American delegation. So we have it, so you should agree with our position on something, right? But Trump's, like Kushner-Witkoff, understood it as the threat and decided to start the war. I think it was like that. Combat veteran is streaming. Oh, nice. What the fuck is displaying? Which one?
Later, after.
Oh yeah, I shared it on my channel. Like, Russians' offensive on Mala-Takhmachka has surpassed great historical sieges. Mala-Takhmachka. Is it 1,500 days? I think it's 800 with something. Mala-Takhmachka will definitely be the historical textbooks as a small village in Zaporizhia region where about 200 people lived before the full-scale invasion became a real test for the second army in the world. Russian troops spent around 1,500 days in assaults. Really? I thought it's 800 with something, but they're never able to achieve success. I think it's 800 with something, no? Or we are just trolling Russians. With Mala-Takhmachka. I think it's 1,500 also shared. Kind of interesting. Well, maybe they didn't have those direct attacks for 1,500 days, so Gibraltar defied their siege continued for 1,320. Carthage, Carthagena, we call it Carthage, 1,100. Leningrad, of course, Rome, the fight for Rome, Alexandria, La Rochelle. Oh, I was in La Rochelle, by the way. France, Jerusalem, Constantinople, 53 days. I'm surprised, but yeah. So Mala-Takhmachka is a historical thing. RNG confirmed. Hi, welcome to Twitch. Any news about the Russian cargo ship sunk of Spain Gibraltar that supposedly had 2 nuclear reactors? Yeah, I streamed about it yesterday. We have the interview with the captain. He said that those were components for nuclear reactors for the submarines. He thinks. Whether those are real reactors, I know, assembled or just the spare parts, so far we are out of clue. United States sent a couple of the sniffing airplanes 2 times per the last year to check it out for nuclear isotopes. Russia sent its submarine there. That's it. That's what we know. But still, like, no real evidence. Just interview, like, it gives more perspective. Yeah, it's doomed. Yeah, I think so. Nigel Farage might not win majority in parliament. He might win 100 of 200 seats. Could be, yeah. It could be like that, yeah. Nigel Farage. So far, no new meetings about Trump. Mostly Fox News are telling how good this visit is. Well, there were not actually too much propaganda. Trump arrives as China. Xi Jinping should be worried, Commerce says. Worried about what? Yeah, mostly Fox News is... That's why it's in a search. That's why it's... No new news. I thought that there will be the meeting, but no. It's the night time there, still. Early morning, let's say, already. But they're gonna meet, I think, in at least 6 hours, maybe a little later, we'll see. He arrives, that's it. I hope he is fine. It's just a joke. Why does Trump, the fattest leader, not just eat the other ones? It's like Highlander, the only one survives, right? Thank you, RNG confirmed. Thank you. Taika has no cars. Interesting to see that Chinese firms managed to make the switch to conducting AI training on locally manufactured chipsets. It will have strategic implications. Yeah. I think so too. But they don't have those, this kind of the highest rating. It is only in Taiwan. China is far from reaching, but they're working, yeah? So maybe in a few years they will reach the standard of really small nanochips. I think now they have 5 nanometer or 2 nanometers. I think Taiwan has 10 nanometers and working on 20 nanometers, but I'm not sure. I wonder what Trump will negotiate with Xi, likely give China Taiwan, and Xi will help with Iran. Ooh. I think China doesn't have that influence to help with Iran fully. I think Iran is more autonomous there. But the possible swap could happen. I think in Trump's head it's like that, as what you said. Iran carrying out the drone strike. Oh, Russians are still going to tubes. What is this? Drone struck Russian ammo depot in Kupiansk. They put ammunition there. Some dubstep. Yeah, lots of the shells. Bim, 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 and kaboom. Interesting. Is China oil reserves still going down because of the Iran war? I haven't heard. I also haven't heard. I think for them it's easier to switch. I mean, switch to the different supplier. And they have Russia. Russia supplies lots of the oil to them as well as gas. So, yeah. They obtain most of the oil from those, how to call them. Something with my head today. Gulf countries, yeah. Gulf countries, but they may always switch. And they continue to obtain oil from Saudi Arabia and others. Was someone... Is it an...
Volodymyr Zelensky's former press secretary just gave a bombshell interview to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
It's a bombshell because it's filled with lies. In this video, we'll break down the most outrageous things that Yulia Mendel said in her 1.5-hour long interview. But first, here's what you need to know about Mendel herself. She was Zelensky's press secretary in 2019 to 2021. In 2022, at the height of Zelensky's popularity, Mendel published a book that was highly complimentary of him. Now, as Zelensky faces growing scrutiny, she's publicly criticizing him.
Well, he is a dictator. The borders are closed now for 4 years. It's illegally.
No, it's not. Ukraine's mobilization law restricts men aged 18 to 60.
Actually, it's illegal. She is right. I mean, Mendel is right. The closure of the border is illegal. It was made just with the president's decree. It was not even agreed by parliament. It was not it's illegal that they closed the border. So she said actually this stuff. She said correctly.
From leaving the country, and it's rooted directly in the Constitution.
No. Constitution guarantees freedom of movement even abroad. So here she is incorrect. And I have to tell about it as it is. Everyone knows about it in Ukraine. So there is no law that closes the Ukrainian border. There is no law. We can cross-check it. Is there the law that closes Ukrainian border right now, or it's just some of the local decree from president or prime minister that doesn't have that kind of the value compared to legislation and constitution? Please cross-check and tell me. ChatGPT knows. I don't like that they bust lies with the lies. So it's better to say I don't like that they bust the interview that was full of lies, but something was said correctly, but they bust the correct things. You know, there was lots of that stuff to bust, and this video is kind of short. So she could have taken anything else, but instead she took everything, all the stuff that Ukrainians know, and no one would trust her with her busting. Shit. Sometimes counter propaganda is also is stupid. So in Ukraine, borders are closed illegally. There is no legislation that would close the border. Everyone knows about it. It's just border control obtained the order from cabinet of ministry and maybe from Zelensky himself, and they closed it. That's it. There's no legislation. So officially, if you go to the court, but courts are also, they don't give the permission to leave. So there is no legal legislation that taken, or the law that was taken by Verkhovna Rada, by parliament, that would cancel you to exit the country. So yeah, it's the martial law, but no, it's nothing there in martial law about exit from the country. It should be different legislation that wasn't taken. And ChatGPT is still thinking, but maybe it will give me some of the answer. There is no single simple parliamentary law says the border is closed for Ukrainian men. There is only cabinet ministers of resolution, but cabinet ministers resolution, it is not legislation, so it's legal to leave Ukraine. The constitution gives Ukrainians the right to freely leave Ukraine, but also says that it could be restricted by law. And there is no Article 33, freedom of the movements, is among the rights listed absolutely non-restrictable. So yeah. So there's the cabinet resolution number 57, rules for crossing the state border, citizens of Ukraine. But cabinet resolution, like, what is the cabinet resolution? It's not the legitimate, it doesn't have the legitimate power. It is not the law that forbids you to do something. It's just a resolution. Usually, like, cabinet resolution, it gives for some of the government companies, yeah, for them, how to deal with their services. Not for people. They cannot ban people. They cannot ban rights. They cannot ban constitution. But it is happening. I know it about it because lots of the people, they still want to leave. There is no detailed explanation or details like who can leave, who cannot leave. The system is not written in one direct constitutional parliament laws. It's implemented through the cabinet resolution number 57. So the total border closure for Ukrainians, for Ukrainian males between 23 and 60 years old. It's a decree, you know. Decree. It's not a legislation. So what she says, like,
which explicitly allows rights to be limited during wartime.
Wartime doesn't cancel constitutional freedoms. It should be a separate legislation, which doesn't exist in Ukraine.
And in the summer of 2025, Zelensky's government eased those restrictions for men aged 18
so what?
to 22.
So it's up to Zelensky. So it again says that there is no direct legislation that controls that. So it's up to Zelensky to decide who goes, who comes. So there is no, like, the closure of the borders is illegal in Ukraine. Everyone knows about it. I mean, Ukrainians. Everyone knows. But it's like with the COVID thing, yeah? There is no legislation about any sort of the COVID, those restrictions, but they were applied. And stay at home or you'll be fined or something. Why? How? My right is like, I have a freedom of movement, I have a freedom of no virus. And here is the same, like, if government needs to do something, they don't care about constitution, they don't care about legislation. So here she busted herself, I guess.
That's for men aged 18 to 22.
We are desperate. Please stop this war. Please stop this nonsense. Please stop this autocracy. There is no reason why to fight this war.
This war is extremely brutal, but Ukraine alone can't stop it. If Ukraine stops...
Here she is correct. Here I also say like that, like, stop the war. It's like Zelensky has the right to stop this war. It's like Zelensky went to Russia with its own army. Yeah? So it's up to Putin. Putin started this war. Putin should stop it, but he's not willing to, so...
In itself, it will lose everything. Whether this war ends is ultimately up to Russia, and Ukrainians understand that all too well. That's why the majority rejects any peace deal that would ensure Ukraine's capitulation, now or later.
There is no freedom of speech.
Ukraine just climbed 7 steps in the new world press freedom.
Climb 7 steps, it doesn't mean that there is the freedom. I would not be capable, like, I would afraid to say what I say on my channel against Zelensky if I stayed in Ukraine, honestly. Like, not against Zelensky, but criticizing him, yeah, corruption schemes, and etc. So I wouldn't say still there are some of the cases, and yeah. It's better than in Russia, of course. It's way, way, way better than in Russia. The freedom of press, freedom of speech, but there is a telemarathon that is government supported, and it brainwashes lots of the people in political spectrum, not about the war, but in political spectrum. So actually it became worse, I would say. since the start of the war, the freedom of speech. Before it was, I think, a little better, but not too bad. I mean, not too bad in Ukraine. It's okay-ish, let's say, the freedom of speech. And way, way, way better than Russia, of course.
Index ranking ahead of the US for the first time in history. And as I'm recording this video, nearly all Ukrainian media outlets, us included, are covering the biggest corruption scandal of wartime Ukraine, one involving...
As for the big media, yes, and with Yermak, yes, but it like became mainstream already. But before, like 1 year ago, if you say like that, yeah, we'll see. Like there is better change, like with Andriy Yermak being not detained, but not arrested, but at least some sort of the prosecuted. I think it's getting better. I think the most of the harsh things which were in Ukraine were because of this guy, and he was like the real president of Ukraine, let's be honest. He influenced Zelensky a lot in every sphere. He put his people everywhere, in Ukrainian SBU, military, everywhere. Everywhere are his people. And it's really outrageous. Now I hope it will be better.
People from Zelensky's inner circle. None of that would be possible in a dictatorship.
There is this very strange rule that
all
the cars need to stop at 9 a.m. on the roads.
Why she's complaining about it? So it's like here she is stupid, this Mendel is stupid. Like 9 a.m. it's like the memory time. So everything stops because of this huge strategy just to recall people who lost their lives. And she like complains about the memory. Like what?
To listen to the hymn.
That's not the national anthem.
Yeah.
That's a minute of silence for fallen soldiers. And it's not mandatory. You're free to keep driving, though if you do stop, it might be because you have some basic human decency, not because a dictator told you to.
Yeah. So here she is correct, absolutely.
He goes to the bathroom, he spends there 15 minutes, and he's going out energized, full of, action.
Is he a drug user?
This is an open secret.
Any proofs, Mendel?
The thing is that I've never seen him taking drugs. So
well known, it's an open secret, but I have never, this you should bust, of course.
Which is it? She goes from he seemed energized to this is an open secret to I never personally saw him take drugs, but people told me. And why did this never make it into her book where she called him a revolutionary president? After we hear nearly every Russian propaganda narrative about Zelensky, the interview ends with a cherry on top. Mendel addressing Putin in Russian, asking him respectfully to please stop bombing her native Kherson. After 90 minutes of explaining how Zelensky is the obstacle to peace, she turns to Putin and asks him nicely to stop. Because I guess deep down, even she knows who's actually responsible for this war.
Yeah, she has some sort of the cognitive dissonance. She's like, at the end, definitely like, stop bombing. She's like on the knees, stop bombing Kherson. So she put the crap on Zelensky, all the interview. Not on Zelensky, really. Zelensky is not the big deal here. It's not the big target of this interview. The big thing was to propel the narrative that Ukraine is also a dictatorship, and so justification of the Russian aggression. So there is no, he said it from the very beginning, no black and white. It's just, those stupid people fight against stupid people. Slavs against Slavs, something like that, she said at the end. And she begged Putin for stop hunting people. Like, what? You just say that it's all about Zelensky. And she she begged him. She begged Putin. It's interesting. I think it was paid, maybe even. But if she is like just a useful idiot and it was an attempt to sell her new book, and for those people who bust the interview, you need to provide facts, because there is actually because your busting should be also could be cross-checked by reality. So there's lots of the stuff to bust, but some parts she said correctly, and that is how propaganda works. Some correct parts, truthful parts, and they put some extra lies on top, and the outcome, yeah. So Ukraine is guilty. I heard that Tulsi Gabbard started the investigation about biolabs in Ukraine. Well, not just in Ukraine, but also abroad, let's say, biolabs. I also cut the part of yesterday's stream and posted it on Twitter. There are Americans blogging about how great Russia is. Oh, nice. I wish they will go to Russia forever. Genetically engineered mosquitoes, yeah. Sound like she just making loud position to get publicity. Yeah. For her, it would be great to release a new book about Zelensky. Like first, she released the book praising Ukrainian president for the good war effort to stop Russians, and then now she releases the book blaming Zelensky. All for money, for attention. Can you imagine what MAGA would say if Democrats made the golden statue of Joe Biden? Yeah, that would be crazy. Have you seen the biggest bioweapon possible? Mirror life. Huh? Oh my god, remember how the idea was pushed at the start of the war that UAE has Russian DNA targeting bioweapons? Yeah, again, Tulsi Gabbard say that they will investigate that shit. Yeah, this is pro-Russian, fully pro-Russian bitch. There is the former pilot from Texas who has a channel showing Moscow and singing the praise about how amazing life in Russia is. Oh my god. I just noticed that Trump got off the plane in China. The president Xi Jinping was not even there. Xi Jinping. Well, it's against China's protocol. They usually do not meet people out there in the airports. I mean, the highest, the top official secretary. Or president, what they call president. After Israel announced that Netanyahu has visited the UAE during the Iran war, the UAE has officially denied that visit even happened. In the midst of Operation Roaring Lion, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu secretly visited the United Arab Emirates. There he met with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. It's the official account of the Prime Minister of Israel. Strange. Maybe it's the fake account, I'm not sure. And UAE denies reports regarding visit by Israel Prime Minister or receiving any Israeli military delegation. Oh, interesting. Unexpected turn. Slovakia announces deliveries of millions of rounds of ammunition to Ukraine. Slovak President Peter Pellegrini said the country is already supplying ammunition to Ukraine on commercial basis. He noted that thanks to investments in the defense industry, Slovakia has become one of the largest ammunition producers in NATO. According to him, the volume of deliveries will only increase. Nice. Thank you, Slovakia. It seems like Fico changed after collapse of Orban. After end of urbanization. Good news, yeah. Actually, I forgot where I saw the news, but it seems like Ukraine also has China-made weapons. Russians just published the information that Antonov 12 was spotted in Sarajevo, and they say, oh shit, what is this? It's their fundraise. They say that it also supplies some of the weapons, Serbian weapons, to Ukraine. FSB probably is not limited to verbal or According to the source, the talks about alleged plans for the Serbian company Zeniprom to supply 50,000 122mm rockets for armed forces for Ukraine, the export scheme organized through the third countries to circumvent official ban, including the Slovenian company Izop K, supplying components including 5,000 fuses produced by Bosnian company Binas. The final assembly of the rocket supplies kits. Okay. So yeah, you don't see the text anyways. So Russians found that maybe Serbia continued the support of Ukraine using their weapons. So yeah, this is the manpad. Russians also picture Chinese manpads FN-16 in arsenal of Ukraine anti-aircraft gunners from 160th Motor Rifle Brigade. China-made air defense manpad. It's interesting. In the Ukrainian army, not in Russian one. (160th Separate Motorized Brigade). Copy of SA-7, maybe. But how? It seems like China not even delivers those to Russia. Does the Russians have the China man? I have never seen. Maybe they have, maybe not. The Greek cited, there is no legislation. There is no separate legislation that closes the border, and you cannot cancel the freedom of movement of people for them to leave the country. There is no separate, like there is no this martial law. It's ChatGPT will tell you to, like, according to your preferences. It's illegal. As it was illegal, some like those COVID restrictions in most of the countries. It also was illegal. Unconstitutional. Okay, Russia is sending their strategic bombers, at least 5, flying from Alenia, and they still count, so maybe more. For now, initial number is 5. So probably there will be the strike on Ukraine. No, Ryobka is in Ukraine. Ah, come on. I don't need the advertisement, but anyways, on this channel I don't have YouTube Premium. It's on other account, but anyways. Is it in Deutsch? Revolution im Drohnenkrieg den Donbass.
Hier im Osten der Ukraine sieht man schon die Übernetzung der Straßen. Das heißt, die ukrainische Armee und das...
Very interesting English dialect they speak. Is that voice boost, volume? There is no variant to switch in English. Yeah.
Так, звичайно, був під атакою, знаходилися, працювали на невеликій відстані.
How are they working?
Derzeit verändert sich die Situation. In der Regel operieren.
Relaxing.
And we heard before that the aim of the Russian soldiers...
Die Russen versuchen, Schwachstellen zu finden und schicken ihre Soldaten dann dorthin. Was macht ihr mit euren Überwachungs- und Kampfdrohnen, um sie davon abzuhalten?
With your drones, with your eyes in the air and weapons in the air to stop the Russians from finding those weak spots.
So wie der Feind nach Schwachstellen in unserer Verteidigung sucht, tun wir dasselbe bei ihm. Zunächst versuchen wir, ihre Logistik zu unterbrechen, so wie sie...
I like Deutsch. I think maybe if I learn it well, I can make a YouTube channel on Deutsch. Yeah? Why not? Deutschen channel. In a way, it's better, I think, in a way. Because English, like, you can reach some of the niche, yeah? There are less people who speak German compared to English. It could be, like, you'll have less views, probably. But you'll get closer to those German-speaking people. I mean, you'll go for it. Yeah, Lady Rosie. I mean, you'll get closer to the niche. Like, for example, if there is some of the high-quality Ukrainian speaker content creator, usually, yeah, of course, the content should not be just blah, blah, blah about nothing. There should be some quality content, like, yeah, I don't think my content is high quality, absolutely not. But some of the volume, if you deliver, people usually watch. And there's the good thing that people watch on their languages. Like, Ukrainian language is getting popular among Ukrainians themselves, and they watch Ukrainian content creators. So before it was like, maybe on Russian, because more people were watching on Russian, and Russians were watching on Russian, and you may reach those ex-Soviet countries as well, they know Russian. But now it's, no, it's better on Ukrainian, because you'll have more loyal audience. German sounds angry all the time. Well, depends how you sound, depends how you tell on it. Yeah, what mood you put into those words. If you shout in German, it's of course, even English would sound terrible. But if you like pleasantly speak in German, it's great. There was an exercise in Sweden, the Baltic island, Gotland, where Ukrainian drone pilots proved the NATO defense is lacking. Yeah, well, like I just recorded the video and posted it on my channel. It's called Denys Davydov. You may check it out, and I already dedicated the whole video about this case. Make a channel about learning German and your experience about it. You would combine audiences. Swain, interesting idea. I just learned on my mouse, and my partner speaks German, but with a Czech accent, which sounds okay. Oh, nice. I recorded the video in German on the Trash channel. It's 3 minutes long. I just used AI to create it. No, I mean not visual, but to create the text, and I just read it out with multiple of the attempts, and I read it. Okay, I remember. I read the sentence, I spoke it to the camera, and that's it. So that is how I recorded that video. I don't know that I've ever heard soft German. I know we can soft German. Soft German. I know. I watch some of the my recommendations. A German girl VTuber.
Eine deutsche Freundin haben willst? Ja? Na gut, ich bin bereit. Ich habe dich gewarnt. Wenn du eine deutsche Freundin haben willst, gibt es 3 wichtige Regeln. Hör mir gut zu. Erstens, wir essen jeden Tag Kartoffeln. Keine Kartoffeln, kein Date.
Kind of the bad example I put here. Yeah. But she has a nice videos, come on.
I'm a German girl, and I'm reacting to this.
Learn German like a real German.
Oh,
Here
okay.
are 3 German expressions. No textbook.
No textbook will teach me,
And
okay.
number 1 is going to be, I understand.
Yeah?
I understand. A real German,
I understand.
when they say, I understand, they're going to say,
Yeah?
ach so.
Ach so. Yeah, that's true. You have to say it like that. Ach so.
And number 2, we're
Oh,
gonna have the
number
opposite,
2? Okay.
which is, I don't
Oh,
understand.
wait. It's like,
You
huh?
meet a real German and they don't understand something.
It's huh,
Let me
right?
tell you what they're going to say. They're going to say, huh?
I knew it.
Huh?
It's huh?
Say it with me.
Huh?
It's deep in the throat.
You should yell it. Huh?
And at number 3,
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
tired
I
of
know
something,
that too.
you want to
That's
go,
easy.
you're done with the conversation.
It's so.
This is a quick expression
Right?
that you can use. You can be like,
It's so.
so.
I knew it.
Boah.
Boah. So.
When you say so,
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah, it's funny. And I sometimes like, huh? You're like, what the hell is happening? Make a channel about in German. Yeah. A guy with a beard talking to anime female figure is not. He's not. She's reacting. He's recording the video, and she is reacting on his video. She put her image on the video. It's not like he's recording. It's the reaction video, or just on TikTok format. Guys. Yeah, I think she's like what's her name? I think she's one of the most popular VTubers, German-speaking VTubers. Anilota, maybe Anilota. Yeah, Anilota. Well, on YouTube she has 217 subscribers. Is it her videos? Yeah, probably, yeah. Are those. She streams. I think she went to English. Come on, I cannot watch it on my this account with all of those advertisements. Well, I wonder why some of the YouTubers are quite popular. Like, you just watch this avatar. Well, still you have the voice, right? It's interesting. I also thought maybe to stream with some of the avatar, to create it based on something, but no. Oh, Callan Robertson published the video. I really waited for that one, so we can watch all together.
Well, immediately told to leave. Definitely didn't like that question.
So we're currently pulling up in Venice. So are the billionaires and super yachts, and now are the Russians. And the sheer amount of money, power, and influence right here in this city right now is staggering. But the Russians, they're not here because they love art. They're here to be part of that power. And right now, Russian missiles are falling on Ukrainian cities, while their politicians turn up right here.
I'll have copyright, but it's alright. I'll cut it later on.
So I've just arrived here in Venice, and I'm going to go straight to the Biennale. And it isn't actually open yet to the public, but what I've got are exclusive tickets to the pre-opening show. It's for journalists and it's for art enthusiasts that want to get there before the general public. But this is critical because the Russians aren't actually going to be here after the 9th of May. The pavilion is only going to be stood for 3 days. The locals here say that those 3 days are the most important period. And that is because it's when the media is here, when the politicians are here, and when the wild parties happen. And all the newsstands across the city have the same headlines, the scandals.
The international jury has resigned this Thursday in a row over the organization's decision to allow Russia to participate.
So I'm going to head to the Russian pavilion straight away first, because honestly, I'm a pretty recognizable face for the Russian state. They put me on their state TV all the time. They put me on Interpol. Pretty likely that their staff will recognize me and throw me out. So if I can go in really, really quick and try to get an interview, a conversation, something with one of their politicians, with one of their representatives, then this would be amazing. Specifically because no one who has anything to do with that pavilion has given a single statement to the media. They've declined every single request. The Guardian, the New York Times, all of them. So they don't want to speak, and I want to know why. So I'm going to head there right now. So this is the inside of the pavilion. So the whole thing's over 2 stories, and just on the right here is an open bar so everyone can come in and have champagne. People seem tense.
Andy, why he sucks? Tell me. Russian elite praise how nice Russia is, but they live in Europe. Most of them have properties and kids abroad, not just in Europe, but also in the United States of America. Right, Steve, that video must be AI, lol. What kind of? German hacker that deleted a white super Macy's? What? Dating stir is a hacker. Huh? Huh? Dennis, make a German channel. I will be there. I will know German. Oh, thank you, Ben.
Conversations stop when we get close. I spot a man in the corner wearing a Russian flag pin, surrounded by men in suits with earpieces. The kind of security you don't normally see at an art exhibition. My friend leans over and quietly says,
He's a master of Russia.
Suddenly, this doesn't feel like an art exhibition anymore. It feels political, carefully managed and controlled. His security team block us from getting anywhere near him. No questions, no interview, no conversation.
That's it. That's it for today.
Just a wall of Russians closing rank around him. So, we wait, because moments like this are all about timing. Just have a really quick question. Sorry, quick question. Your country killed 30 civilians in Ukraine in the last 24 hours. Why are you using art to whitewash your crimes?
Well,
immediately told to leave. Definitely didn't like that question.
Within hours, the confrontation goes viral because, for the first time, someone had directly confronted a senior Russian state representative inside the pavilion. The Biennale likes to present itself as above politics, but if it's supposedly apolitical, then why is the Russian ambassador to Italy standing inside the pavilion surrounded by security guards?
Italy, come on, don't allow this. Lol, get him. If we got to see you soon, Denys Davydov. Героям слава, Swagering. Thank you. It should be illegal. Those bastards should be deported. Russians, even on their channel, say that the attitude towards them is getting better in Europe, even by European politicians.
Why is a senior Kremlin representative here at all?
I'm sorry to stop. Even they receive, the last year they received even more visas to visit Europe compared to the previous years.
Alexei Paramonov is not an artist. He's a Russian state official who has publicly pushed Kremlin narratives about the war, attacking European support for Ukraine as Russophobia. And the moment you see him inside the pavilion, the whole thing suddenly feels very different. Not like an art exhibition, but diplomacy. Soft power.
Okay, so I just got back to my hotel, and honestly today is turning out to be one of the strangest days I have ever been reporting on. And that's because after I got kicked out of the pavilion, I decided to go back one more time, and this time with this trophy here. It's of a bombed hospital. I had this 3D printed in Kharkiv last week, and I did that because I wanted to represent the only award that the Russians deserve at the Biennale, and that's the award for violating international humanitarian law. And I left this trophy outside the pavilion for a couple of seconds, and then something very strange happened, and that's this guy decided to pick it up, run inside, and pretend that none of it happened. I ran right up to him with my phone, and I asked him what on earth he was doing, and he said he didn't speak English, despite saying that in perfect English. He said he didn't know what I was talking about.
Why did you take it?
So then I went to go and get my friend to go and confront him as well and try and see if he could help file a police report, do something to get it back. And I had a really weird feeling about this guy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I came back to my hotel here and I did a reverse image search of his face, and I found some very nefarious articles of him being in Moscow for the last 30 years, him running visa management services, him with dozens of dissolved limited companies in the United Kingdom, in Sicily, in Moscow, and some articles that seem to link him to helping people get visas. And the entire delegation at the pavilion are filled with people who are sanctioned by the European Union. And I've been wondering for a while how on earth they got here to Venice. And it looks like this guy might actually be at the heart of it, despite denying having anything to do with the pavilion itself to me on camera. The whole thing seems extremely strange. So what I did was I quickly published this report, and in the last few hours the Italian press has actually picked up this story. The biggest newspaper in the whole of Italy, it's about 200 years old, have started investigating him and looking into him and his shady background. And none of this was visible about him before my video went viral. So this report has actually escalated it into media, and now the investigative reporters here in Italy are picking up the trail. So this is a wild moment to be stepping into here. Anyway, it's going to be sunset in the next few minutes here. I'm going to take another walk through Venice and see what other crazy, nefarious stuff this city has to offer right now. Oh. These are the Russians from the Russian event that are behind me. And I feel like I'm being followed by these people, because that same woman that's posting for harmless selfies right now was on the same door of the Russian pavilion just 30 minutes ago. And I've just walked to the other side of the event space, and they're right here. So, and activists here have told me that they followed them as well. So the whole thing is really, really strange. A friend who helped retrieve the trophy from the Russian pavilion said he's been followed too. This is so weird. You know that woman in the leather jacket who's been following you? Which one? She was just standing there the whole time when I was standing here the whole time. And then when I saw them, they started taking selfies. Have you felt followed or harassed by any of the people to do with this?
Oh, of course. Recognize them by face. From earlier yesterday, from earlier today, from this afternoon.
As the atmosphere around the pavilion became more tense, I wanted to know whether all this was in my head or whether other people started to notice it too. So I arranged to meet an artist and longtime Biennale figure who spent years moving through this world. Kate Margolis has been part of the Venice art scene for years. She knows the politics behind the pavilions and has spoken out publicly against Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the normalization of Kremlin influence in cultural spaces. And she told me something unsettling, that I wasn't the first person to feel watched around the Russian pavilion. That artists like her had experienced intimidation before.
What kind of Russians are here in Venice right now? You know, I imagine it's not just artists, right?
Over the last 14 years, it's always this kind of arty, glossy, very rich. The palazzo just around the corner belongs
She was born
to
in
Putin's
Moscow.
son. He is the oligarch, Putin's friend, producer of gas. The owner is Novatek. He is directly involved in the war production. And also we strongly believe, a lot of our friends believe
Thanks
that
for following,
Mikhail is
Spencer.
the sponsor of the Russian pavilion. And we think this institution was the headquarters partially of the whole operation of planning it. And I saw a lot of weird people around it. It looks very neutral, very contemporary. They have this program that appeared in January, and I already spotted it as a strange thing, very Russian, no rules for us. And there was this dance around the rule. And now with the opening of the Russian pavilion, we see exactly what is behind it. It's dancing around the sanction.
One sec, the photographer who was there was taking photos of us. Did you see him from Kavor?
Oh, good.
He was just taking photos, I guess, near that. I don't know, just someone.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not going to.
Yeah, strange, but he took photos on his camera. I just didn't know how long he was there for. It's quite strange.
Lot of following, lot of secret filming.
This happens here a lot? And who is doing that? How would you describe that situation?
They have to report to someone. Also, I had a very, talking of FSB, I had a guy comes out and said, "Are you Katy Mongolis?" And I said, "Yes," in Russian. And I said, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you in person. You're such a memorable and bright personality. I really wanted to pay my respect personally." And I said, "Who are you?" "I am the correspondent of RIA Novosti, reporting in Rome. We, think you were following you very closely." And he went back. Of course, it's kind of difficult KGB operation, leaves you very uneasy, of course. And it's just totally polite. I couldn't even complain to police or anywhere. It's not even a direct threat. So that's what they do. It's so
Venice is so beautiful.
Alien to what Venice is.
Venice or Venice?
Okay, so it's our first night here at Venice Biennale, and we've just received a dossier, and it's honestly damning. Every single person who's performing at the Russian pavilion is either an artist or a musician, but what this dossier seems to show is that every single performer in some way is somehow connected to the Kremlin, to state power, to statehood, or they performed in places like occupied Crimea or directly repeated Kremlin lines over the last few years. And this starts to paint a picture, and I'll go through the names in a couple of minutes here and look at each example and each individual source here. But this has come from a very reputable source as well, the Molfar Institute, which specializes in this exact type of investigation into Russian interference networks around the world. And this looks damning, especially on night one, knowing that the pavilion is just open today, knowing that these people are here, and half of these names are sanctioned by the EU right now, which raises further questions about why they're even here, how they're even here. But for now, we should go through and have a look at who some of these people are. We've got Anastasia Karneeva. She's an art curator on the surface, the daughter of a former FSB general connected to one of Russia's biggest weapons manufacturers. And then we've got Roman Malyavkin. He's a musician linked, according to the dossier, to institutions that performed for future FSB officers and projects surrounding Russian troops fighting in Ukraine right now. We've got Mikhail Spassky, a sound engineer on the surface, directly tied to Russian state academies. These are military-linked cultural programs. And the rest of them basically all performed at events in the last 2 years, supporting what Russia calls their special military operation. And all this stops feeling like a simple art festival and starts feeling like something much darker. The Russians have used this event, used this city as a sort of Trojan horse to sneak in their state operatives, to sneak in their ideas through art. And one of the main features of this entire festival, one of the reasons and justifications for Russia being back this year, is because art should have nothing to do with politics. And that sounds great on paper, but that doesn't seem to be Russia's intention. They seem to be using art to smuggle in their politics.
Today, the Biennale opens to the public. Big crowds, big press, big speeches about culture and dialogue. But there's just one question no one seems to be willing to answer. Who actually allowed the Russians back in? And one name keeps appearing over and over again. Pietrangelo Buttafuoco, the president of the Biennale, a right-wing figure who defended Russia's return and described the Biennale as a place that shouldn't judge countries politically. Then leaked emails emerged. They show him coordinating directly with Russian pavilion organizers over visas, logistics, maps, and how to avoid breaching EU sanctions. According to multiple reports, he was right at the center of it. So naturally, I wanted to ask him about it. But there was just one problem. Nobody could find him. I contacted his office, his press team, his assistants, nothing. No interview, no statement, no comment. Which is slightly awkward when you're the president of the Venice Biennale on opening day. So I decided to go looking for him myself. Oh, hello. Do you know this person?
This is the manager of the Biennale.
Is he still president now?
Yes.
Because he's not been here. No, I haven't seen him in the last few days.
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Do you know who this is?
This is the president of the Biennale.
Do you know where he is?
Where he is now?
Yeah, have you seen him?
I don't know where he is here.
Do you think that's a bit strange? Because he's the president of the exhibition, but I haven't seen him anywhere. He's not around. It's quite weird. Is that normal every year?
I don't know.
Okay, so we've established that the president of this place doesn't want to be around the public, doesn't want to be around all these pesky artists. So maybe he's hiding in one of these pavilions. Let's go and check it out. Do you know where this person is? Yeah.
Then I don't know now exactly where is Nale, yes.
Ah, okay. Okay, so the president of the Biennale seems to be the only person that's less visible than the Russian oligarchs right now.
Dennis, did you already left Ukraine before border closing law came to practice? Am I correct? There is no boarding law. There is no boarding closing law in Ukraine. It does not exist.
But honestly, it's a bit weird. You'd think, after inviting the Russians back during the war, that you might stick around to answer a question or two. This guy's acting like a Cold War fugitive right now at his own festival. Oh, hey, I just have a quick question. Do you know who this is?
He's the president of Biennale, yes.
Do you know where he is?
Where is? I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you anyway. All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm following you since the beginning of the war.
No way. Yeah, nice to see you.
So nice to meet you. I really admire you. I'm a journalist too.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to be filming if that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you know who this is?
It's the president of.
Check out some of the Kellen's early videos. So what? I know his past, but so what? Did he eat some people? I don't know. Did he did some of the crime? Did he do some of the crime? He is a great supporter of Ukraine. He helps Ukraine. He even risks his life. So, yeah. I like this guy. He's my fellow. He's my mate. He's awesome.
Biennale, Pietrangelo Buttafuoco.
So I have spent all day looking for him. I've asked the staff, I've asked everyone, and he's nowhere to be found.
But me neither. Invited to my program, and he said no interviews.
Same with me.
Good luck. He can hide very well if he wants.
Oh my God. Well, it seems like it. Of course, the only person that knows who he is another journalist that didn't get an interview. So Pietrangelo was nowhere to be found. But someone else did show up. Matteo Salvini, Italy's deputy prime minister and one of the country's most outspoken right-wing politicians. Salvini arrived at the Biennale.
The question is motives. I don't like him, no worries. I don't fucking care, Andy. You may like him, you may don't like him. I like him personally. He is I may call him my mate. I don't have really friends in my life except my wife. But Kellen is doing a great job, and yeah, he is my mate. He is a great guy. He's really helping Ukraine a lot on the international stage. I would say he's doing even better job than me. on some of the media platforms, on X as well. He's very popular, so he is awesome.
Went straight to the Russian pavilion. He praised the decision to let Russia...
Motives. Then you go to Kherson, and you're attacked by the Russian drones. Then you go to... I think he went to Zaporizhia Oblast also, very close. He showed me some of the pictures of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant just across the river. What motives? I don't fucking care. If the guy sacrifices his security for what he does and publishes, and he's awesome. He is really awesome.
Return and argued that art and culture should be immune from boycotts. He spent 25 minutes inside the pavilion watching performances and being welcomed by the Russian organizers themselves. And honestly, this was probably the moment that Russia wanted most, because this was never really about how many people visited the pavilion. The public wasn't even allowed inside after the press days. What mattered was this image, this footage, and this symbolism. A senior European politician walking into the Russian pavilion while the cameras rolled. Russia didn't need crowds. It needed legitimacy. And that's exactly what this entire operation feels designed to achieve. By the time the Biennale's doors shut for the evening, the Russians had already got everything they came for. The interviews, the footage, the headlines, proof that they were back inside one of Europe's most prestigious cultural institutions. And honestly, that might be the biggest victory of all. Because the Biennale is often called the Olympics of the art world, and little by little, Russia has been finding its way back into spaces like this, into festivals, opera houses, sporting events, cultural institutions, not through tanks, through invitations. Before leaving Venice, I wanted to speak to someone who understood exactly what that meant.
Russian culture, Russian art is part of propaganda, the same way as a sport. We saw the same approach in the sport in Olympics, because many famous people from Russia was there, like with Russian flags, with some Soviet Union symbols, and that's how it works in Russia. So suddenly, you should also keep in mind that it will be used in Russian propaganda. It will increase awareness about Russian coming back to the arenas, and even civil population of Russia who is now in Russia, like they will see it as a sign that they're doing something good in the world, yeah, because they're part of world society again. When people ask me, do you still have war in Ukraine? And I think it's also because of these events, and also because Russians are coming back, because people start to forget again about war. Art or Russian culture, Russian filmmakers and Russian sports, it's the same, part of the same propaganda, and it served as a tool for propaganda. So of course, to see them here, like in Biennale, in all the festivals, in the sport arenas, it's very shameful. And people start to normalize their actions. And I think it's the biggest problem here, because people start to forget about what's happening in Ukraine.
How do you feel seeing it on a personal level?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm very thankful for your work, because I think it's very important to show it, because when nobody is doing this work and nobody approaching Russian embassies and ambassadors, then it's it's going like it's going, and you see more and more Russians everywhere. And it's important to highlight these moments, that what they're doing here. And you can see some FSB faces here too,
yeah,
I believe.
8 weeks before arriving in Venice, I sat down with the president of Ukraine, and during our interview, he warned that Russia uses culture as a weapon. Not just missiles, not just propaganda, culture. Platforms designed to slowly make Russia look normal again to the outside.
Okay, the message is understandable. I think I watched you already too much. Okay, it's gonna be soon midnight, guys. Just go through the comments, and I need to film one more video today. Beautiful bastards. Hey, people in the kettle. Pee in the kettle, sorry. Well, like, thank you for the sticks. Angie, we don't fucking care. You may, like, we understood that you don't like Alan. You may not write it many of the times. Then so Zelensky and turn it off. Come on. Thank you for sharing your time with that. Yeah, Dusty, thank you so much for being on the stream. But yeah, I'm just gonna go to the cock. They keep asking. Okay. You say they understood, so yeah, it's understandable. I know that many people hate me, and also like partially. It's kind of hard actually to be liked by anyone. It's impossible, and you know it's slippery slope here in our content creation. Sometimes you may say something, and you'll get hated for something. Well, at this stage, I don't really care. That was chill stream. Yeah, too much chill. I think I'm low on energy. On my videos, I have higher energy than on streams, but on streams sometimes it's good. Yeah, speak your truth then. Yeah, I just have something here and I just spell it out. That's it. No one here hates it. I don't know. We have sometimes haters. It's okay. I'm quite okay. I was like, there were the moments that I was like a little bit touched by hate comments, but yeah. Sometimes I think I commented on Jake's bro stream or Enforce's stream, and people also like start to say that they hate me, like some of people, but it's okay. Stream tomorrow. Yeah, I hope to stream like every day. Thank you, Wally. Oh, how are you trolling me? I don't know. Ozzy, what you deleted? Enforcer stream is toxic. Why? No. I mean, then I comment there, people support me. And just maybe 1-2 persons, they say something on me, like they don't like me for whatever reason. And people in the chat, they start to attack those persons. So it's not like they hate me, then I comment. No. It's like very, very kind of the cozy community there. Cozy community there. So we have mutual audience, I think, partially. Oh, nice, Mario. Marina. Ah, okay, awesome. Haters keep hating. Yeah. And there are some of the content creators who take it very seriously. I don't. I even have haters who reach me by emails. Even trying to scam me with some of the shit. Like pretending being a Ukrainian SBU, pretending to be Ukrainian police who is searching me, Ukrainian military who is searching me. But this is funny to read. Because they're not competent in legislation, and those messages, they're very easy to, and yeah, some of the Swiss officials, of course. That is the dedication. Yeah, and also there are hack attacks on emails as well, you know, the spam attacks. Then you receive like thousands of emails. It's kind of hard to get rid of that shit. The last time I watched Enforcer stream, it was a toxic back and forth with another content creator. Really? No, they are very friendly. For me personally, they are very friendly. And I'm kind of friendly for them and their community. Like I don't feel toxicity on, maybe those streams were like that, so I don't know. It's called DOS attack, then you get thousands of emails. Yeah, so on my email, it's like, this is the email that I don't usually use for anything, just, you know, for PayPal only. And it is out there on my channel just for a single purpose. Yeah, if someone wants to support, but they write me there, they like spam me there, okay. You must fly some F-16, yeah. Like this one, yeah. I found the Enforcer was quite based. The last stream I have seen, I just saw one of their streams recently. Oh yeah, I remember I was driving to Italy and I switched on their stream. It was late night for me here, or early morning, and for America it was night. So yeah, it wasn't entertaining. It was entertaining. And they, I don't know how, but they talk. So they have this talent in talking a lot, given lots of the information straight away. What's that casino wristwatch alarm? Casio, yeah, Casio. Those watches. Midnight. They always ring in the midnight. Well, now it's 0001. I put them on midnight. Just like, oh shit, it's night. Okay, I need to do something. How I spend my day. Oh shit, one more day, useless stuff. Haven't achieved anything. I should work at night, all night. Gives you anxiety. The very good job, daily detailed updates on Ukraine. Yeah, try. Yeah, mainly I use two watches, Casio and Gravana. Gravana looks like Rolex, but very close to Rolex, but it's Gravana. Swiss made, yeah, a little bit dirty. This is the most expensive I have. 1,100, I think. Very expensive. But for some of the events, I wear them. And this is Casio's daily abuse watches. Yeah. And yeah, I have wearing Casio wristwatches for decades. The alarm is typical, yeah. And I have cheap Timex. Oh, I totally baked. Yeah, I like Casio, you know, because it gives you all of the information. It also is capable to find the phone. So if I press this button, it should be paired right now with the phone. Come on, find. Maybe this button. Come on, find the... So it's like sends the signal to my phone, and phone starts to ring. Feature. And also gives like the date, time right away, you see everything. And you don't need to reset anything like on usual mechanical watches. I like it. I never watched that had been late everywhere my whole life. Well, people joke that I will late for my own funeral. Okay. I use Garmin watch, but Casio was and my all-time favorite watches got to hand to the Japanese. Just got a text as you press that, yeah. So you could link your watch someone else's phone to troll them with No, you need to download. Application to connect the watches. Watches. Videos like performing okayish today, but I need to film the new one. I actually have some of the news, but not too much. Not too much. I wonder, maybe today Jake Bro will not post his video, yeah. Yeah, totally not. There's maybe hackable. Handheld phones are easy to lose. I leave mine in the glove box of a car most of the time, yeah. Seiko calculator watch. My fave is a Seiko calculator watch. Not really, so is it your favorite or no? Seiko calculator is the iconic also. After seeing what the Israelis did with the beepers, I tend not to keep my electronics close to me. Come on, they will not launch the friendly fire. Awesome toaster. Today the operator is also broadcasting. Operator Starsky? I don't really see her. And the name of the video of Colin Robertson. They're here. Russians are everywhere again. It's bad actually, yeah, that they have those visas. Europe doesn't understand that there could be some of the spies, but there are some nice Russians. Like, not all of the Russians are bad, I understand. They need to go through some of the checks to get the visa. I guess so. Through extra checks. Clickbait. Come on, I also clickbaited today's video, like NATO, like Ukraine, like what was my video? NATO defeated in Gotland. Big, Ukraine captured Gotland Island. This is also clickbait, come on. Not too much, like not crazy or crazy. Well, maybe crazy. With clickbait you have like more of the views, more of the attention, retention, etc. So, yeah. But those are not the craziest clickbaits I saw. This is shit. There is the Ukrainian journalist, and it seems like he is now earning from YouTube, so he tries to attract more audience, and I don't know what happened to him. But his channel is really unhinged. So his names of the channel. Just right now, Putin is ending the war. A secret decree has announced. Simonyan attacked Putin harshly. Simonyan attacked Putin. Nothing of that is true. And the thumbnail, also their letters. At this moment, Ukrainian forces started the seizure of Sevastopol. Russians are running. Front line collapsed. This is a real fucking clickbait. Denys, do you watch Destiny sometimes? No. Is it interesting? But the enforcer does those thumbnails all the time. What? He's live now.
The whole weight of our entire military industrial complex with us and Israel down onto them, and then had to walk away with Iran not only surviving, but coming out on top? That's fucking crazy. I don't know any example in all of world history, even like fucking Vietnam and shit, was not this crazy one side. That's just insane. I don't know. That's just wild to me. But I don't know. I legitimately don't know through the region if there are other
7,755 people watching him. I thought actually he has more views. Maybe he has Twitch. Oh yeah, he's on Twitch, I think. He's banned on Twitch, I think, also. So he's on YouTube, and what is this? On Kick, he has the Kick channel, and I guess on YouTube, yeah, and some of, I don't know, something else. And this was the guy that was special friends with Nick Fuentes. I think now they are split with their ideology. I guess so. No? Who is he? He's a streamer. He's like a liberal guy. Demo. Wanna trust that Patriot, as far as I know, could throw him. He sometimes hosts Ukrainian Anna. Oh. I think he's kind of pro-Ukrainian. Also, Copy gave the interview. There was the podcast. I saw it.
Russia filling vacuums. It's concerning.
If China were to being able to project these things internationally, I think is really important. And it's also important because
1 year ago, and yeah, they filmed this podcast. Yeah. The enforcer also always gave me Alex Jones vibes, so never liked the channel. Oh, I see. Alex Jones has a special voice. Like this broken engine or something. I know how people listen to it, for a long time or for any time. It's like, what? You need to force yourself to listen to that shit. Like enforcer, then I run out of my Denys videos and I'm going through the withdrawals. I think Alex Jones has some of the issues, right? I think his channel bankrupting. YouTube has an advice for YouTubers published just 1 hour ago. The first 3 seconds to hook the viewer are everything, so make them count. It's like, have I attracted your attention? Let's start the video. Something like that. I don't know. Oh shit, YouTube is funny. Well, actually they are correct, like few, maybe 5 seconds. Not 3, like 1, 2, 3, maybe 5. Why does Enforcer have 10 minutes of boring intro Yeah, I also do not understand it. But you need, I think, most of the top streamers, they have one or other intro in any case. So they have their intro. One hour ago, something breaking, always breaking. What Rubio says here. Fox News.
You view China as our top geopolitical foe.
Yeah, it's both our top political challenge geopolitically, and it's also the most important relationship for us to manage. I mean, it's a big, powerful country. It's going to continue to grow, but we're going to have interests of ours that are going to be in conflict with interests of theirs. And to avoid wars and maintain peace and stability in the world, we're going to have to manage those. There are clearly areas where they're so important for the United States that we're going to have to raise those issues, and we'll continue to do so. The president's going to continue to do so. There might be some areas of cooperation too, and we want to make sure we don't walk away from those.
You view...
Probably he will be the candidate from the GOP for next elections, I think. I think Rubio will do it, because Vance is like, he's too stupid. He will lose. Rubio, I think, has the chances, at least. Some of them. Tiny little, but still. I think he is the only proper candidate from GOP for the next elections. Well, I'm not sure. I think the Republican president will not be elected, the next term at least. 10 minutes waiting time before starting stream is good, because YouTube is ridiculously slow to notify users that someone has gone live. Yeah, Dreammaker. Usually, like top streamers, they have this waiting lobbies for around 10 minutes. Yeah, around 10 minutes. Zelensky, Xi Jinping still never met face-to-face. Have they? I'm not sure. Just press skip, but it's live on air. So I usually do not watch until some point here. He is the one of the better Trump's cabinet. He is the most competent in Trump's cabinet. I'm not sure that Harris will even go for elections. Trying to find some more news for today, but there are not many. It's good that my Twitter is boosting now. With one of the videos went for more than 15,000 views. It's great. So I have like 300 subscribers more on X account. So it's awesome. I didn't know that some of the long format videos could be watchable on X. Twitter. It's better Twitter than X. Alright guys, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for being with me on the stream, and see you around. Maybe next time I'm gonna stream something else. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't have the mood today for the streaming. It took 3.5 hours, but I wasn't that energized. See you guys. Ciao, ciao.